Lakers fan, also someone that has covered the Dodgers professionally for so many years, is just like that. This whole Dodgerification of the Lakers feels like it's going to be thrown out of the window. The stability of the franchise, I think, is going to be called into question. And then my big questions are aimed at Mark Walter, and I'm sure we're going to get into all of that. But absolute shock, man. I guess it's not John the Kuminga. I guess it's not. It's a much bigger story than that is explosive. I mean, $12.5 billion? $12.5 billion.
Let's start here. And look, we're not going to shy away from all of the angles here. There's a federal investigation. There's a potential political angle to this that we need to talk about. I think the brass tacks thing for me is that Mark Walter is one of the single most important figures on the face of the earth in sports, and the most important figure, at least until this sale goes through, in sports in Los Angeles. He is the controlling owner. He is the North Star of the Dodgers and the Lakers. And with all respect to the Rams and to the Chargers and to USC and to UCLA, this is a Dodgers and a Lakers town. And those teams are public trust. They take up an incredibly important part of just not just the economy of this city, but the hearts and minds of people who are here. They are critically important to the fabric of life here for people that are sports fans, and that's a whole bunch of you. And Mark Walter's in deep trouble. And for whatever reason, now maybe it'll come out that he just wanted to flip it and make $2.5 billion. That's what he made in 9 months. But you will not be able to convince me that Mark Walter bought the Lakers, started to integrate a lot of the operations between the Dodgers and the Lakers, and then just woke up one day and decided, you know what I want is another $2.5 billion. He has money. And so what this is about is a person who is still planning, and all the reporting is that Mark Walter will continue to own the Dodgers. But I'll just say this. I believe that. I'm sure that's right. All the Dodgers reporters out there are reporting that there's no change coming to Dodgers ownership, but there wasn't supposed to be change coming to Lakers ownership. And there's so much that's being reported, and there's so much information that we've got to get to you. One of those things includes the reporting out there, the suggestion, I think this was Bloomberg, DMAC, that Walter is raising the funds for whatever potential fines or back taxes are owed as part of this federal investigation. All right, that's one thing. There are certainly people on the left, right, people politically inclined leftward, who are pointing out that Mark Walter was at the White House not that long ago, and there was a federal investigation announced into him, and now he is selling the Dodgers to someone who has a connection to the Trump family. Maybe that has everything to do with it. Maybe it has nothing to do with it. But Mark Walter is selling a Lakers team that he didn't plan to sell. He does have to disentangle Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi and all these other ways that they've combined the operations and sales and marketing of these two teams. So this wasn't a planned moment. He has got to figure out whether he's still under a federal investigation. And so best case scenario, this goes really well for the Lakers. And we're going to get into why I don't think that's necessarily the case. And maybe you too, Doug. Even if things go well for the Lakers, the guy that owns the Dodgers, the person that is the reason the McCourts are no longer in the picture and that this has become the Dodgers now, the perfect example of how to run a franchise, that person of Mark Walter is having some really difficult moments. They're certainly true in a legal sense since he's being investigated federally. They appear to be true in a financial sense since he just flipped an asset that he was not planning, based on what we can tell, to sell for $2.5 billion. Maybe it's true in a political sense. We don't know. We can certainly speculate about that. It's a very worrisome day for the Lakers. I'm not saying the Dodgers are going to be sold, but you don't want the guy that runs that organization. You don't want the Dodgers, they chase a third consecutive World Series. You don't want a team that has their best player in Shohei Ohtani, who literally has a clause that if Walter sells the team or Andrew Friedman no longer is the president of baseball operations, can opt out. You don't want this uncertainty for the Dodgers either. So this day, for me in LA, is about unsteady ground for both Lakers fans and Dodgers fans. And we don't know what we don't know yet, but we do know it's not a great feeling and a great moment for the two teams that matter most in Southern California.
Absolutely. And I think that's had a lot there to unpack. There's so many layers to this. And I think for me, it comes down to a couple things, Bill. I think it's one, as you point out, the probe and the investigation, the fact that he was at the White House, the fact that if you're a sports conspiracy theorist, this is like Christmas morning for you, right? There's so much to unpack there. If that is the reason why he ultimately decided to sell his majority stake in the Lakers, because he had to get some liquid, right? To get some money to get out of that. That's one thing, right? And sometimes, look, you got to sell the house to pay the mortgage. I get it. But if you're taking that face value and it's not about that, and it's just about the fact that he wanted to sell the Lakers for a profit, that to me doesn't make a lot of sense. Because as you just pointed out, this is a guy that already owns the Dodgers. This is a guy that's worth over $7 billion. This is a guy that bought into the Lakers in 2021 to own 27% of it and get the first right of refusal. So why would a guy that spent years and years wanting to buy the Lakers finally get them and then sell them within less than a year? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think from an investment standpoint, yeah, that is a lot of money, right? That's an extraordinary investment to get 25% return in 1 year. That's great. But here's the thing. Mark Walter, he bought the Lakers to turn them into the Dodgers, not into $2.5 billion in profit.
He doesn't need the money.
He doesn't.
He's got money.
So then, really, are you of the side where it feels like this is something to cover himself from a legal standpoint?
Look, I don't think it's unreasonable to worry as politics are played out now, and the muscular, and I know this is politics, but the muscular nature of how the federal government and the executive branch operates, and I'm not taking a side, I'm just talking facts. I don't think it's unfair to wonder if selling the team when clearly that wasn't his original plan isn't about this. It is about this investigation. Now, whether it's about coming up with the money, whether it's about I don't have the bandwidth for this, I think that's a very generous reading, or whether it's about, hey, do us a solid and sell this team to my son-in-law's brother, and maybe things go better since the president does control the Justice Department. That's how the system works, especially today. I don't know. I don't know which it is. And it's also worth pointing out, and we see those of you calling it at 855-97-LA fan. So Jimmy and Lakewood and the rest of you, stick with us. Keep calling. Give Bursch some time to answer the phone. I know you guys have opinions. We're going to get to every single call at 855-97-LA fan. I also just think it's worth pointing out, and this is a little in the weeds here, but we talked a lot of World Cup, and we talked a lot about how the red card for the United States men's national team got rescinded and didn't make sense. And the president of the United States, President Trump, told us, right, we know from him, that he called the head of FIFA and told him to basically rescind the red card for Balogun. And that just was very strange. And then it turned out a few weeks later, FIFA and the same person who rescinded the red card that Trump had called, that person tried to sell a huge stake in basically the World Cup and other competitions for $20 billion to Josh Kushner, who now is the person who's going to own the Lakers. And the point is, there were politics connected to that, certainly. And there are people who cover politics, you and I don't, Doug, who thought, okay, the red card was rescinded as sort of a favor by Trump, who was also going to help facilitate this. You're talking high-level politics and billionaires operating in very specific ways. So, yeah, I think there's a world where maybe Walter wasn't excited about this sale and had to do it. Can I throw, there's a lot going on. Can I throw a few sort of just some news at you real quick? And we can respond?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, and again, I'm not endorsing this political view. We don't know the reasons Walter sold. We just know that it's happening, that it's shocking, that it's unprecedented, that it's quick, and that it impacts you, California, especially you, Southern California, all of us. So I'm just going to give you people's perspectives. A guy named Aaron Rupar, who's a left-wing political person, wrote, so Mark Walter was at the White House recently, is under investigation by the Trump administration, and just so happened to abruptly sell one of America's premier sports franchises to the brother of Trump's son-in-law. Interesting interpretation. Facts are right. Don't know if that's the reason. Dave McMenamin pointed out that Kobe Price over at the California Post talked to new Lakers owner Bob Iger, and Iger said that Mark Walter's agreement with Jeannie Buss, remember Jeannie Buss had sold to Walter for $10 billion 10 months ago. She retained her governor title, which in effect means in the NBA for 5 years, she still got to make decisions, control things. It has a huge impact on Rob Pelinka. It has a huge impact on the RSN here. It has a lot going on. So at least for now, Bob Iger is saying, don't worry, we're down with Jeannie Buss. We're not going to change her agreement. Let me also point out that Axios, which is a political newsletter, is reporting that Kushner and Iger, even though they operate a venture together, are putting separate money in, and that it is Josh Kushner who will be the controlling owner. So based on Axios' reporting, it's not really Kushner and Iger, it's Kushner, right? I mean, that Iger is basically Magic Johnson with a bigger stake. That's something we have to process. Arash Markazi pointed out, who's been an LA sort of media guy for a long time, that the Lakers and Dodgers have spent the past year aligning both franchises under one roof owned by Walter, and there were people working, he points out, for both teams from sponsorships and partnerships to player analytics and scouting. That was true a week ago, a few days ago. So all of that has to be untangled. So it's just, and again, 855-97 LA fan, I find this extraordinarily unsettling. Best case scenario, the Lakers' new ownership do a really good job. We also knew Mark Walter was great at running sports franchises. Like when Walter took over, it was like the Prince Charming coming in and like, okay, everything's gonna be fine. Maybe Kushner's gonna be excellent. Maybe Iger, who's not the controlling owner, according to Axios, is gonna be excellent. But we don't know. Mark Walter buying from Jeannie Buss is one beloved owner passing on a public trust to another beloved owner. This is a venture capitalist firm that was trying to basically buy a big chunk of FIFA. So the uncertainty I find really unsettling, Doug.
I do too as well. And I think that's the thing that's so frustrating about this is just because it felt like with Mark Walter, with this ownership group, that there was momentum, that they were getting their house in line, that they were going to turn to the next chapter of Lakers basketball where you're going to have a modern ownership group that wasn't going to pinch pennies, that was going to focus on scouting and development and analytics and make the right basketball decisions. And now, yes, you look at the price, you look at the $12.5 billion that takes his majority stake, which I believe was around 83%, and they become the principal owners. And you say, sure, you have the capital, you have the cash to get it, but will you put the right people in place to be able to go and make sure that this team can go and do what they've done throughout their history, and that's win championships? It's just a big question mark. It's a big what if. You've got all of the Kushner and the kind of the reaction that gets from people just because of the political affiliation, even though if you kind of do your own research, you'll kind of see it's not that Kushner, right?
Right. And in fairness, Josh Kushner has been very clear that his politics are different than Jared, his brother's politics. But Josh is still in business with storylines that are enmeshed with the Trump administration. It's very complicated.
And that's the thing. It felt like we had a foundation, right? It felt like we had some confidence knowing that, hey, Mark Walter, I can tell you from the Dodgers, he's not out there picking players. He's not out there picking scouts. He hires the best people and says, okay, go do your job. Here are the resources. Bring me championships, right? We do not know what Kushner and what Bob Iger and what their approach is going to be to winning championships. And I think for me, it's accepting the fact that this is a little bit of a stain on Mark Walter's legacy.
I completely agree.
I think it's a massive stain in the sense that there's nothing that's good out of this, right? It's not good that you have to do this because you're under an FBI probe and this SEC Security and Exchange Commission is investigating you for reporting and tax issues. It's not a good thing if you're looking to profit in any way, which, as you point out, he already has a lot of money. But here's the thing. The reason why I don't think that is, look, Lon Rosen took over a job in there. They were making hires. Those guys were moving.
This wasn't the plan, dude.
It was not the plan.
Can I read you I'm not going to read you Mark Walter's entire statement. Can I read you the farcical part? Here's the thing. I'm going to read you the first sentence of Mark Walter's sales statement. And we see all of you calling in, I promise. We're like 2 minutes from getting to you at 855-97 LA fan. So Jimmy and Steven and everybody, bear with us. There's so much to talk about, and we're going to do this for 4 hours. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Hang with us. If you're in the chat on YouTube at The Fan LA, get in the comment section. We will get to that. It's DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. We are talking about this Lakers sale. Here's Mark Walter's statement. Owning the Los Angeles Lakers has been one of the great honors of my life. It goes on. The first reaction is bleep you, dude. Right? That really is kind of like the first reaction. That's like me marrying my wife, Lori, and after 9 months divorcing her and be like, it was one of the great honors of my life to be married for 30 seconds. On the other hand, and again, we don't know. Neither Doug nor I are purporting to or pretending to know why this guy sold, if there's any politics that are part of this, if it's all politics, if there are what they are, what the investigation federally of Walter's company means. We don't know. We're trying to sort of wrestle with it like all of you are. That's either the most disingenuous statement in the history of sports, the most disingenuous in the history of sports, or this is a guy who had to sell for reasons he couldn't control, and he's heartbroken. It's one of the two. And so I don't even know if I feel terrible for Mark Walter or we should hate Mark Walter. It's really hard to be able to tell. Should we take calls?
Yeah,
Do you want
absolutely.
to?
Yes.
855-97 LA fan. We are talking about the Los Angeles Lakers being passed around like some cheap investment. Twice sold over the last 10 months. In fact, closed 9 months ago at the first sale for $10 million. Now it is Josh Kushner and former Disney CEO Bob Iger who are buying the Lakers at a $12.5 billion valuation, although according to Axios, which is very connected politically, very connected to the Trump administration, so they're probably right, they are reporting that it will be Kushner, Josh Kushner, who will be the controlling owner. So I know there's a lot of people going, oh, it's going to be okay. Bob Iger's great. Well, Bob Iger's not in charge, so according to the reporting. Let's go to Jimmy in Lakewood. Jimmy, thank you for your patience. I'm so glad that you're spending time with us on this crazy Lakers day. You're on DMAC and Reiter.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm just really as shocked as you are, and, I was ready for the Dodgerification of the Lakers. I feel like I'm watching that show Billions where, somebody's under investigation and they got to liquidate. And guys, and somebody like him, hey, he's got to move his piece, and unfortunately the honor of the Lakers is no longer his. And as a Laker and Dodger fan, I guess I'm glad I already got my September 3rd tickets for that Dodgers-Lakers giveaway, because that's the end of the Lakers-Dodger merch.
Yeah, hopefully they don't give away the Dodgers. Thanks for the thank you for the call, Jimmy. That's a great call. Here's the other thing that really just, I keep going back and forth between whether Lakers fans should be pissed off or bummed out, right? And because we don't know what we don't know about this Lakers sale. But Jimmy made a great point. The Dodgers-ification of the Lakers was going to be extraordinary, and it was going to work. And it was a guaranteed investment in the ways there's a cap in the NBA, but you can do all kinds of things with money outside of the cap, like bringing in front office people like they've done, and that's gone. That doesn't mean that Kushner, Iger won't be good. We don't know, but it was a guarantee that the best sports ownership group in America was going to turn their attention and their money and their love for sports and their love. That's the other thing. Kushner loves the Lakers. Maybe I thought he loved FIFA 4 weeks ago for $20 billion, and so we don't know what we've gained. Lakers fans don't know what they've gained, but we know what has been lost. It's the best owner in sports.
Exactly, and I think that's where I'm at as well, is where, look, we do not know all the details, and I'm curious to get all these questions answered in the coming days, weeks, and months. I mean, it's going to take us some time to get approved, but it is going to happen. And I think if you're Mark Walter, yes, it's already been reported that this is not going to change where he's at with the Dodgers. But now this is a major inflection point.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. But I believe it. Yeah, I mean, a lot would have to happen, right? That'd be another absolute. But this is shocking in and of itself.
But a lot's already.
Yeah. So look, you're right though. This is an absolute inflection point for the Los Angeles Lakers, because now whatever the Lakers do or they don't do in the next 10, 15 years, we're gonna look back and say, wow. For a year, it looked like we were on track to have, as you said, the most competent ownership group in all of professional sports. The Dodgers are that right now, and I think that is where I'm at. You mentioned the word bummed, right? For me, I don't know exactly what's going on with Mark Walter. We do have an idea of the legal stuff and the things that he's dealing with. Back in 2024, he did suffer a stroke during the Dodgers postseason. Are there any health issues? I mean, there's a lot of things we just do not know exactly the answers to. But the first thing for me is just the fact that, hey, you were supposed to be a steward for this franchise. Are you a profiteer? Are you just looking at that $2.5 billion? Because we were saying, oh my goodness, it's the Dodgerification. And what that means is championships, infrastructure, a baseball operation that became the envy of all of professional sports, a sustained investment. And the Lakers, they're just going to represent for Mark Walter that time he walked into an asset and he flipped that asset.
Oh, we have more calls. Do you mind if I sorry?
Oh, let's bang it out, baby.
DMAC and Reiter, the new 97.1, the fan, the voice of LA sports. We're all dazed and confused, but we're going to try to find some clarity together here on your voice for LA sports 97.1. Let's go to Steve and Whittier. Steven, thank you for listening. Thank you for helping us try to make sense of what the hell has happened with the Lakers. You're on DMAC and Reiter.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Hey, DMAC.
What up?
I don't know. So much has happened. So much has happened in the past year with the Lakers. You have LeBron deciding if he's going to go, stay, he leaves. You have Luka. You had J.J. Redick, the whole coach. The Lakers are looking a little I'm a Laker fan, but I'm not too thrilled about this team right now and everything going on. And $2 billion is a lot of money. Numbers don't lie. That's a lot of money. So I wouldn't blame the guy for selling the team like that. I don't know who bought the team for that much. To sell it for 7 last year, then 9, and then 12 this year. The Nets are worth 9 to 10 billion. So I don't know how we lose LeBron, keep Luka, and now the team's worth even more than that. I don't know where we go from here. And then yesterday, the other day, someone bashed Mookie Betts. One of you guys bashed Mookie Betts. You said trade all of his stock. You're out of it. I want that guy. Oh my God!
No, you're right, dude.
I don't know who that man is.
Let's give him, Stephen. It was me.
Happened?
Let's give him an. Thank you, Steve. Let's give him an MVP. The guy hit a home run yesterday, and now he's an MVP. You're right, Stephen. You're right. Don't look. It's cool. It's the other guy. It's Stephen Whittier. All right, so we gotta take a break here in a second because we're going long. Just a couple thoughts of what Steven said. No, Mookie Betts is not the MVP yet, but that's cool. 2, it is interesting. This is not the story of the day, but there were all these LeBron homers. I like LeBron, Andrew, my boss. I like LeBron America, who were like, now that LeBron's gone, the Lakers won't be worth anything. It's never been about LeBron. It's always been about the purple and the gold. Like, that is the value of the organization and of the franchise. All right, should we There's so much to get into, including this. Did Jeannie Buss get betrayed, or did Jeannie Buss show her brothers who did not want this team to be sold that they were absolutely right? That's another angle of this thing. Jeannie Buss just cost her family $2.5 billion, and we don't know, have cost Los Angeles the assurances that this team will be owned by someone that will do right by it. We don't know. There's a world where Jeannie Buss in 2 or 3 years is one of the villains of Los Angeles, because this is also on her, because she sold to somebody who sold 9 months later. So we'll get into the Jeannie angle of this. We'll take your phone calls, 855-97-LA-FAN. A bunch of you are on YouTube at The Fan LA, at The Fan LA. Slam that like button. All right, welcome back into the show. It is a bizarro, upside-down Wednesday. Lakers have been sold for the second time in 10 months. This is DMAC and Reiter presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan. The voice of LA sports. Accident or injury. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. And we are going to get into every single angle of this thing. One of the really tricky things about talking about this, Doug, is that, and you said it, we just don't know. We don't know a lot of the important things, and people aren't always honest, and there's not always total and clear communication about plans when things like this go down. Jeannie Buss, when she sold the Lakers for $10 billion, God, it feels like yesterday, in October to Walter and to his group, seemed to have assured a couple things. One, that the Lakers were in really great hands. That we knew that they had, the Lakers, an owner in Walter who had a proven track record of not just commitment and loyalty and excellence to LA, but domination in his sport with the Dodgers. So we felt kind of, right, I think you and I agreed, it wasn't a matter of if he would do a good job running the Dodgers or the Lakers, it was just how long it would take to kind of lock in and get to that point. And the other thing that Jeannie had guaranteed for herself was that she would be the governor, which is to say that for 5 years in a written agreement, as we understand it, she would have the power to control the front office and to make decisions. And for all those, that was good for Pelinka. That was sort of good for continuity. The reporting out there, Bob Iger talking to, I need to quote this young dude, Kobe Price at the California Post. Great get by Kobe Price and by the California Post. Iger told the California Post today that's not going to change. But Mark Cuban also had an arrangement when he sold the Mavericks. And so the Jeannie Buss thing I find fascinating. She tried, I think, to do the right thing. She sold to somebody for whatever reason wasn't reliable. But at the end of the day, it's not your intentions when you have something valuable and important, including the Lakers. It's what you do. If this goes south, this is on Jeannie Buss as much as it is, based on what we know, Mark Walter.
It is. I mean, it's for sure Jeannie Buss, when you look at it in retrospect, she was the one that held the keys. She was the one that ultimately decided the future of this franchise. And we know that there's a lot of turmoil between her and her brothers and having to fire her own brothers and all that stuff that went on for so many years that really, if you're Jeannie Buss, she kind of saved face in all this at the end. But now we're in a situation where if Jeannie Buss is in a situation where, yeah, she's in her same role. She doesn't make any decisions. She's really like a figurehead.
Well, if she's the governor, in theory, she should make decisions.
But I mean, yeah,
we don't know.
We don't know. I mean,
we don't know if they're going to honor that either.
I find it hard to believe that anyone that would get up 10, 12, $12.5 billion for a franchise would be wanting to really have any input from Jeannie Buss based on how things have laid out.
I hear you, but that was she has Mark Cuban thought he had agreement too, and I assume he thought it was written to be the controlling interest. I don't know. I think the reason Pelinka was there still was in part because of Jeannie, and my guess would be, having covered the Lakers for a long time, that in the NBA, Steve McIntyre on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports, that Jeannie was given some latitude and respect by the Walter Group, and that if they disagreed, they probably, you're right, would have done what they wanted. But she had this written agreement, and they were going to try to play nice. She's not the one that sold to Kushner and Iger. Hell, it cost her and her family $2.5 billion that she didn't wait 9 months and sell to these guys. And so there's no telling. I mean, I think Rob Pelinka is pretty low on the list of like what we're worried about today. I also think Rob Pelinka is bad at his job, but there's no guarantee Rob Pelinka's here in a year.
There's not. That's why there's so much instability. There's just going to be a different direction this franchise is ultimately going to be headed in, and it comes at a time where the Lakers need to win. They need to show Luka Doncic that they're a franchise that can pursue championships. But just kind of go back to one thing you said as far as Jeannie Buss goes. Look, I mean, she's kind of one of those queen mother figures, right? Like, she's a figurehead. She represents the franchise. She kind of represents what the franchise was for so many years because that last name, the Buss last name. But we all know that in the last year, internally, that it was Mark Walter and the powers that be within the Dodgers that came over there that were starting to run this show. I think we saw Farhan Zaidi, Andrew Friedman, all of those big names start to really put their fingerprints over this organization. And that's why this is such a stunner to me. That's why it's such a shocker to me on so many different angles, because Look, I mean, there's been reports that this came together in the last 3 or 4 days, that this came together pretty quickly.
Yeah, and so there's some interesting reporting out on that exact front. I believe Ramona Shelburne first said that the initial phone call was on Sunday, and Bob Iger, in his conversation with Kobe Price at the California Post, we're talking about the Lakers sale here on DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. You tell me what you think. This is going to get into maybe, I don't think it's conspiracy theories, but it opens up, I think, a little more the possibility of political interference or pressure on Walter because of the federal investigation that maybe be well-deserved. We don't, the allegations against Walter, the federal investigation is into alleged tax fraud involving companies he controls. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. They and Bloomberg have reported that in effect, there's about $16 billion in private credit deals that are being looked into by the federal government. So that's you don't want the feds investigating. Innocent, guilty, you don't want the feds to be investigating you. So Ramona Shelburne says that the initial call was Sunday, which is wild, it was a few days ago. Bob Iger, in his conversation with the California Post, said that they were having conversations about the Vegas franchise. And, quote, and while that happened, it was suggested to us that maybe Mark Walter would be interested in selling his stake in the Lakers, end quote. Who suggested that? Was it Adam Silver? Was it somebody in the federal government? Was it Josh Kushner's brother, Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of the president? It's just there's a lot going on. But the fact that Mark Walter, the initial Ramona thing made it sound like they went, what the hell, Iger and Kushner, Josh Kushner. We'll call, since we're going to spend $8 billion anyway, $10 billion anyway on a Vegas team, let's just call and see what Walter's, oh, wow, you're willing to sell? What a surprise. That's not what Iger is saying to the California Post. He's saying they were going through their details and someone gave them a tip, gave them a heads up that Walter might be willing to sell. That, I'm speculating, feels more like desperation by Walter and less like a phone call. And he goes, what the hell? I'll take $2.5 billion.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like it's kind of one of those things. It's where, they say war is a king's sport, right? I think sports ownership really is that now, right? And I think that you got very small circles. There's not a lot of people on this planet that can enter these conversations to own franchises like this. The Lakers, they're not just one of the most valuable sports franchises. They're one of the most valuable and iconic franchises in the world for the history of this planet. So I think for someone like a Mark Walter that is starting to maybe see the walls close in on him a little bit on these investigations, knowing that, this is pure speculation here, knowing that there are some of those ties, right? Mark Walter, he's under federal investigation. And then in the midst of all that, he sells to Kushner. That kind of opens itself to all these questions, especially when we look at the timing of it all.
Dude, I completely agree. DMAC and Reiter here. The phone number, 855-97-LA-FAN, 855-97-LA-FAN. And we're going to get into every angle of this. We're going to chop it up from every single degree of this story of the Lakers being sold to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger 9 months after Mark Walter closed on the deal to buy the same team, the Lakers, from Genie Buzz. Is this going to work from a sporting sense? We have seen a lot of owners buy teams who are very good at whatever they made their fortune in. And I've, in my time as a newspaper writer and then as a columnist, and now as somebody who lives in Manhattan Beach, weirdly, I've been around my share of billionaires, right? And the thing about them I find really interesting and really troubling sometimes, Doug, is that they are very smart at what they know, and they think they are very smart at things that they do not. And we've seen that with Matt Ishbia and the Suns. We saw that with McCourt. We've seen that with, just sort of go down the list of poorly run organizations. Just because there are bad owners doesn't mean that Josh Kushner is going to be a bad owner. But there is no track record, and he is the controlling owner according to Axios, not Bob Iger. And people are pointing to Bob Iger's wife, who has a stake in, Angels FC. Come on, let's be serious. It is Kushner who runs the team. It is not his minority partner's wife who's going to run the Lakers, according to all the reporting. There's nothing in Josh Kushner's track record to suggest that he is about the sports over the money. that this is about love of the game over an investment, that if it is about love of the game, maybe it is, we don't know, that he's going to be good at that. Los Angeles has gone from having a family-run team that had its issues, but you could never doubt the Buss family's love for the Lakers, to selling, in the new world of sports ownership, it has to be billionaires. You're exactly right. What did you say? Like a king, they say war is a king's game in sport. You're right, it has to be a king. In the Buss family, they weren't that level of wealth. So they sold to Walter, who's Guggenheim Group, massive money, but a track record of success. Kushner's an unknown. He's just a great big question mark. And it is very possible, based on history and based on his lack of a track record, that we're talking about the uncertainties today, and we're talking in 6 months or 18 months or 24 months about and maybe it'll go the other way, but it could be a disastrous sporting reality for Lakers fans.
And I think that's what's so scary about this, Bill, is just the fact that it felt like we were in good hands, right? There was familiarity there. There was comfort there. There was track record there. There was Mark Walter there. And if you're a Los Angeles sports fan, guess what? You don't care that the Lakers are worth $10+ billion. You don't care that they're worth $12.5 billion. Cowboys fans, ask them how much they care about how much their franchise is worth because they haven't won championships, right? I think if you're a Lakers fan, and all this to your point, is that there was a trust level there that was built, and now there's this shock because there is that unknown. I think you did bring up the possible pause vague. I think we got a caller here, right?
We do, but finish. Do your thing.
No, I want to get back into that because that is the interesting thing too, because Kushner does have a little bit of a background in NBA ownership with the Grizzlies and the Heat. You mentioned they were attempting to get that Vegas team, so it's not like a complete unknown.
Minority ownership,
yeah.
He's also, you know what else his organization? What is it? Thrive Eternal.
Yeah, Thrive
is basically an offshoot of his venture capitalist firm, and let me read this properly. Their goal is to take legacy brands that are down on their luck and build them back up. Do you know who their second investment is buying the Lakers? Their first investment, the San Francisco Giants. If he's good at his job, it's bad for the Dodgers. If he's bad at his job, it's bad for the Dodgers. All right, Mark, we see you. We're gonna get to that call. We've got so many of you calling in, but get in line. We want to talk to you. 855-97 LA fan. We are gonna be about as committed to the clock today as Mark Walter turned out to be to the Lakers, which is not very. More conversations on the shocking, it really is, the worrisome, the troubling, the disconcerting, the shocking news that the Los Angeles Lakers have been sold to an unknown quantity from a sports perspective in Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. We'll keep that conversation going with your calls next on DMAC and Reiter. Welcome back into the show. It's DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That is calldowntown.com. You can also text injury help to 40222. Let's go to San Pedro, where Mark is hanging out. Mark, appreciate you on this crazy day. You are on DMAC and Reiter.
What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy?
I love the show. I listen to you guys every day. I'm glad what's going on the FM radio.
Thanks, brother.
I think you guys are looking at this wrong, man. We don't need that distraction. Him with all this tax stuff going on, and yeah, you know what? You guys could say, hey, we're supposed to be in good hands, and Mark Walter was going to be the change. Hey, it's a business. This guy flipped his money, sold his home. He made $2.5 billion off of it. But we don't need the distraction. Can you imagine something coming up 6 months, 9 months from now during the season, and now that's what we got to worry about? He sold the team. It's in new hands now. We didn't need the distraction. Who knows what can come out of this?
Mark.
And I think it's a great thing. If he knew, hey, something's going on, they're looking into my finances, get out of there. Get out of there, sell the team, put it in someone else's hands. Let's go with something new. Do not become a distraction to what the Lakers are trying to do right now.
Mark, we love you, buddy. Thank you for calling in. I love that you love the show and you found the show on the FM. It's like the journalist in me. I think it's just being accurate. Can I be negative? I love Mark's view, but I think even if he's right, it's bad news. Can I tell you why, DMAC?
Hit me.
Because if the distractions Walter could face are a problem, and if he is facing problems that are going to make him a less effective owner, then it might be good news today for the Lakers, but it's really bad news for the Dodgers because he still owns the Dodgers. If the logic, and it might be good logic, is that he can't be a successful steward of the Lakers with everything that's going on, then that same logic applies to the Dodgers team that he owns. That's why I find this to be one of the most significant stories in the history of Los Angeles sports. This isn't just a Lakers story. The two most important teams in LA are currently, and this will not be true once the Kushner and Iger thing go through, are owned by the same guy. And that guy is either has no love for these teams and they're a business proposition, or he's in so much trouble with the federal investigation that he can't handle it, or there's political pressure. We don't know, but it ain't good because whatever the reasons he did or should sell the Lakers also could and maybe do apply to the Dodgers. Yeah, and there's another powerhouse franchise in the same city that is making a ton of profit. But I think that if this is a play for Mark Walter to get himself out of financial trouble, that's where the irony is when you have to sell off something when you need the money, right? I mean, the irony is that the thing you treasure the most can become the thing you sell first, right? Because it's the only thing that's valuable enough to keep you out of trouble, right? Sometimes you got to sell the crown jewels to keep the kingdom from collapsing. And that kingdom is Guggenheim Group and Walter. But I think that the reason why I'm in total agreement with you, though, Bill, in a lot of this stuff is that this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. This is something that brings all these rumors to life, right? When the FBI had to seize his phone and they had to look into his finances and they had to do different things because the insurance industry is one of the most highly regulated industries there is, right? So the fact that this is a billboard for that now has to be embarrassing. And then two, on the fact that there's a lot of Lakers fans that are Dodgers fans and vice versa. And we know that Mark Walter really has already built a dynasty, has already built a model franchise in baseball. But now his legacy as a Lakers owner is just going to be something that's a very awkward and weird chapter for him, right? When you talk about the Dodgers and Mark Walter, you're always going to say the Dodgers are something that Mark Walter built. We talk about the Lakers, it's just going to be something that Mark Walter sold to potentially get out of some legal trouble. Best case, dude, yeah. You're describing the best case scenario because the Dodgers could also be something Mark Walters built and then sold, or Mark Walters built and then got distracted and kind of fell apart. And I know that's more on cruise control because of Andrew Freed, but I find it really disconcerting. Here's the other thing. I know we got to rock a bunch of calls, 855-97 LA fan, and we're going to hyperspeed some hero nominees. The Luka Doncic thing. No, and we'll hit this much more thoroughly next hour, but nobody on earth wants their bosses to change every 9 months, or in Luka's case, the owner of the team. He's already put a statement out. Being a Laker means everything to me, and I'm excited to get back on the court and bring a championship to LA. I've gotten used to big changes over the last few years, but I know that no matter what, there is no limit to the potential of the iconic franchise. It goes on and on and on. This dude having to respond from Slovenia is in and of itself embarrassing. This guy didn't want to be a Laker. He's been nothing but gracious about being forced to be traded here because the Mavericks didn't know what they had and what they were doing. Best case scenario, everything's fine and this doesn't impact Doncic. But it could.
It could, absolutely.
These guys are idiots.
And that's what Luka Doncic is essentially living in the Truman Show now, right? He stays the same. Everything around him is always changing. Ownership and teammates and coaches. And for Luka, a guy that should be entering his MVP years, his peak prime years with the franchise that is trying to do everything they can around him, it's the lack of stability. And when, for so many years, everyone wanted Jeanie Buss to sell the Lakers. And look, that was inevitable. You had to have. I didn't want that.
You
didn't want that.
No,
you think you can still win with that mom and pop style of ownership? I mean, it's a tough putt these days.
I mean, there's a salary cap and there's a salary floor, and they share revenue. So I think there's a world where it could have been. I think the Lakers brand. There's also like. If there's a 12, I know I got new nominees. If there's a $12.5 billion valuation in August of 2026, she could also have sold minority stakes for the money. Yes, their money was there. Like it's like a house. Like you can pull the money out of the asset. Can I do a really quick DMAC and Reiter Hero of the Day nominees, which we'll throw in the chat?
Let's hit it.
I'm going to nominate Joey and Jesse Buss. These are the brothers who didn't want to sell this team, who tried to stop their sister Jeanie from doing that. It was a whole family Shakespearean thing. They were right. Because it was a rush process, and it was done in the dark. And whatever the sort of intentions of Jeanie Buss, it cost her family $2.5 billion, and it cost this city the stability to know who actually is going to run this team and whether it's going to go okay.
I love it. Yeah, definitely get into that one. I got to go Russell Westbrook. So Russell Westbrook, you got to feel hey, no. There is no Russell Westbrook slander that will be tolerated today. A top 75 NBA player, an MVP, a UCLA legend, losing her high school. I mean, you're talking about he is arguably one of the best LA basketball player in the history of the league.
Don't insult LA like that.
Hey, he's an MVP, Mr. Triple-Double. Yes, it was not great in LA with the Lakers. You had the whole Westbrook thing back. But I'm giving Russell Westbrook my hero of the day. It's the only one I'll even throw out there. He deserves it.
Wow.
Great career. First ballot Hall of Famer, UCLA legend.
He's a super nice guy. I'm going to go Max Muncy. I'm going to go Blake Snell on that incredible return. And I'm going to go Luka Doncic for trying to pretend everything's okay and trying to sort of be a leader for Lakers fans, since there isn't one that exists right now. It is DMAC and Reiter. He's Doug McCain. By the way, congratulations on a great career, Russell Westbrook. Great. Maybe he'll own the Lakers in 4 days. Who knows? It just keeps jamming. He probably doesn't have the money. We're going to keep talking about this story and the machinations that have led the Lakers to being sold yet again. Is this also bad news for the Dodgers? Next here on DMAC and Reiter. All right, what up? Welcome into the show. We're talking the Lakers sale and what it means. It's DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That is injury help to 40222. I was driving in today and listening to the midday show, and Brock Vereen was awesome. He was just awesome. And what he talked about was the icky feeling, just the gross feeling of this, just the uncertainty. And I'm not properly retelling how great Brock put it, but I think that is there's a dark cloud now over LA with this Lakers team, where before it was utter positivity. The Walker Kessler, maybe Austin Reeves, and even if it doesn't work, it's fine because Walter and this organization is going to do what they've done with the Dodgers. And in the chat, DMAC, there's Bob C25 just writes, and he's speaking for so many LA fans. He's sort of echoing, not sort of, he is echoing what Brock said earlier. Bob writes, I am sick to my stomach. Been a Laker fan since 1969. Yes, 1969. I am old, LOL. We don't have a lot of information, but we know how we feel, and this sale to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger does not feel good.
It doesn't at all. And for me, it feels soulless. It feels strange. It feels weird. Everything that's transpired. I mean, the Lakers aren't some random company you buy, improve the valuation on, and then you put a for sale sign on and flip and collect the money, right? This is the Los Angeles Lakers. This is an institution to the city, to the world for Lakers fans. This is a institution to basketball fans and LA fans everywhere. And if Mark Walter had to do this out of desperation, it's one thing. If Mark Walter did this just because he added up all the reasons why he didn't want to own this franchise, then it's also something that's very, very off-putting. I think for me, it does put a stain on Mark Walter's legacy as a Los Angeles owner. It really, truly does.
What legacy? I mean, his legacy is owning this thing for 10 seconds.
I include the Dodgers in that.
Oh,
though.
Dodgers. Sorry.
Absolutely. I mean, grand opening, grand closing as far as his ownership of the Dodgers, right? I mean, of the Lakers. But I think that...
You think it puts a stain on his Dodgers ownership?
I think it has the potential to. I think it really does in the sense that how this thing leaks into the other. But as far as when you sell a franchise like the Los Angeles Lakers and you profit the way you did, you get a 25% return on your investment. Look, most venture capitalists, most billionaires, if you can get 10%, you feel really good about that. Mark Walter potentially getting 25%.
But I'm going to push back on this, and maybe you're not saying this. He hasn't been, as the Dodgers owner, a steward of that team that was about the money. Baseball is the ultimate sport where you can fleece the fan. If you want to turn your ownership of a baseball team into just an ATM, there are ways to do it. There is not a salary floor. There is not a required amount of spending. You can be the Pirates. You don't have to invest in the product, or you could try to invest in the product, but tell Andrew Friedman you're not hiring 19 different former GMs. The Dodgers spend money.
They do. Well, so that's
I just don't buy the argument. You're not making it, but in all the things we're trying to guess at, the guess that Mark Walter just wanted to make $2.5 billion, I don't buy. That's not. Now, he needed money because he's got financial problems because of the investigation federally, sure. But just this as an economics play, as an investment play, no, I don't buy it for 2 seconds.
So, yeah, I mean, what I was leading towards was the fact that if you're Mark Walter, you can find the money other ways, right? $2.5 billion to someone that has the kind of financial muscle the Guggenheim Group has, it doesn't make a ton of sense. So that's why I think it'll ultimately come out that there was some pressure for him to either sell. There was some pressure for him to find a way to get out of some of the investigations with some of his other companies and all the things that were lingering there. And I think, too, look, I mean, there's a world, I think, where Mark Walter probably looked at just the state of the NBA. In basketball, it's very different than Major League Baseball. Let's be honest. It's a lot easier to build a powerhouse World Series winning team when you can build it with depth and you can go out there and sign the best players and there is no salary cap, whereas in basketball with the aprons and you have to hit right on certain players, it's like the difference between finding a rock group and putting together the best lead singer, guitarist, bassist, and drummer. Baseball, you can have a 26-man orchestra and have that depth there, right? There's just more margin for error. So if it was that, that's even more disappointing as well. But I think, look, I am all for whatever comes out of this as far as the conspiracy theories from this. Like I said, this is Christmas for conspiracy theorists as far as are there shakedowns involved? Complete speculation. But it couldn't be just about $2.5 billion. I just don't believe that, especially when you consider the fact that Mark Walter spent 4 years. He bought that stake in the Lakers, the 27% stake back in 2021.
Right.
And he got the first right of refusal. He
Long-term
wanted
plan.
to own this team. So that's the thing. Yeah.
I was going to explain the shakedown for people that are just to explain the theory or the conspiracy theory that is out there. So Josh Kushner, the venture capitalist, is now, along with Bob Iger, the owner-to-be of the Los Angeles Lakers at $12.5 billion. If Kushner's name is familiar, that is because his brother is Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is married to President Trump's daughter. And so there is a belief out there that Mark Walter, who is now selling, as DMAC pointed out, the Dodgers, even though every indication is it's been a long-term play to own this team and he doesn't need the money, wouldn't want to. Mark Walter, a few weeks ago, was the news came down that he was being and is being investigated federally for alleged tax fraud. A federal investigation is run by the Justice Department. The Justice Department is headed up by the executive branch. President Trump has been very muscular in his view of how much power the president has to really get in the weeds on his Justice Department prosecuting and investigating people. So the shakedown theory is that, in effect, it's a quid pro quo allegation. Doug and I aren't saying this is the case, but this is what people are talking about, that maybe selling the Lakers to someone somewhat related to the president eases or helps with the federal investigation. And for those of you that don't like that or think it's political or are frustrated, it's also worth pointing out that Josh Kushner, who is about to own the Lakers, tried to buy a 20% stake for some $20 billion in FIFA and the World Cup, and it only went away because all the World Cup confederated organizations around the world basically threatened to fire the person he was doing business with who runs FIFA. And that also coincided with President Trump telling us he lifted a red card from the USA in a way that's totally unprecedented. And so there were people, when that soccer story went down, that go, and this is like people in the soccer world who reported it, go, oh, USA's Balogun card got rescinded because it was basically the price for the president requiring, this is an allegation, this is a conspiracy theory, I'm just trying to explain the shakedown, for the red card getting rescinded was basically like, okay, you want my son-in-law's brother to put $20 billion into this thing and give you some money? This is what I need. And so there are a lot, to Doug's point, there's a lot of thought out there that it is a shakedown. Doesn't mean it is, but on the sort of on the spectrum of possibilities, it's one of the 7 or 8 or 9. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not like we're out here saying that Mark Walter necessarily did something wrong, but the optics are funky. Like, they just really are. The optics are very, very weird. Maybe there is a perfectly innocent explanation. Maybe this is someone who's a staunch businessman that knows, hey, $2.5 billion is a lot of profit. I'll take that. But there has to be something deeper. There has to be something more. And the fact that the timing of all this, it just feels awkward and clunky. And I think if you're a Lakers fan right now, you're looking at your franchise that really represents this city, and you wonder, is it in good hands? A week ago, it felt like it was. Right now, it doesn't matter that it's worth $12.5 billion, because guess what? $12.5 billion doesn't equal trophies, right? Like, just like the Cowboys doesn't equal Lombardi trophies. And I think there's a lot of massive questions, and it feels like Mark Walter and this sell, it's like someone that's kind of looking for an emergency exit somewhere and kind of knows something that we don't know yet.
Here's another thing from actually, I'm going to give you a basketball take, but we could use a little humor here on DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Can I read you the text my buddy Bryce sent me about this sale? This was his first response. And this is Bursch's love language because he's a big Star Wars guy. He wrote, Bob Iger was just like, I am slowly ruining Marvel and Star Wars. Let me jump to the Lakers now and see what I can do with these guys. I mean, it's true, though. I mean, Bob Iger's track record at Disney hasn't been amazing the last few years, and we don't know anything about Kushner. Here's the other concern, and I know it's not high. There's so many things to tackle on this sale, the shocking sale of the Lakers from Mark Walter to Kushner and Iger for $12.5 billion that came down today. But one of the things is, you talked about the integration of the Dodgers and the Lakers and the ways in which Farhan Zaidi and Andrew Friedman, we knew reportedly were a part of these meetings and these conversations as they tried to figure out what to do in free agency. And when LeBron went away, they also, and we know this came from the Dodgers ownership group, they went out to hire new assistant GMs. They hired somebody, who was it, guys, from Houston, who's basically a draft analytics sabermetrics expert.
The rocket scientist, right?
Yeah, is that rocket? Does he still get to work here? That's a Guggenheim decision. That is a Dodgers-ification of the Lakers that's now in limbo. And I'll say this too, and this is going to sound like a put down to Rob Pelinka, probably because it is. What Rob Pelinka is good at is selling Rob Pelinka. I'm not really sure if Rob is good at drafting. I'm not really sure if Rob is good at player development. I'm not sure if Rob is really good at being a general manager. I don't even know if, because you and I both like the offseason that the Lakers had. We like the Austin Reeves moves because you had to.
For sure.
We like Walker Kessler if he can be healthy. I think the Lakers have a chance to be really interesting and really good. I'm not sure that was Rob Pelinka. If you bring in a venture capitalist and his goal, and we don't know what Josh Kushner's goal is, but his goal is to make money, is to do just enough that Lakers fans keep coming all the time. What you need is a salesman, not a GM. That makes Rob Pelinka very, very valuable. The other one of the many things I loved about Guggenheim buying the Lakers was that they are about meritocracy. Like Andrew Friedman and the way that thing operates, if you are good at your job, you stay and you get rewarded, and they're not threatened by you. If you're bad at your job, you go away. Don Mattingly, whoever, right? Ned Coletti, under Guggenheim. It ain't about feelings, it's about performance. I like that would apply to Rob Pelinka. I like that in 2 years, if Rob Pelinka was still the GM of the Lakers, it would be because I was wrong about Pelinka and he's great at the basketball. And so that safety net has gone away. It's not as if the Lakers have what the Dodgers have, which is a guaranteed front office structure, leadership structure that works. You got to hope that Kushner and Iger know what they're doing. And if they don't, we're stuck with Rob Pelinka. I don't trust them to know the difference. And so there's so many layers to this Russian doll that make me I just keep opening another one, I keep getting more and more nervous.
There's so many layers to this, and I think that is another thing you feel bad about, too. I feel bad for the employees who got fired when Mark Walters took over, right? Maybe they would still have jobs under Iger and Kushner. Maybe they won't. But as you pointed out, look, basketball taking all this, if I'm a fan of any team other than the Lakers, I'm happy today. I'm ecstatic today. Because Mark Walters' ownership of the Dodgers has led to the best dynasty in baseball that we've seen in 2 decades. And they could be good at their jobs, Kushner. They could hire the right people, but maybe they won't. Maybe they don't. Maybe they will struggle to have that great eye for talent. And that is the thing that separates the Dodgers and the rest of baseball. The rest of the sports world is that more often than not, they're putting people in positions of power that are great and elite at their job, and they stay out of the way. Mark Walter isn't someone guy that was going to meddle in anything with the Lakers as far as the decision-making process goes, but I was excited to see who Rob Pelinka would become or who would replace him. And now, if the Lakers have success, that's great, and this roster works around Luka Doncic, but let's say that things don't go well with Rob Pelinka, and the Dodgers are going to stay as the owners, and they are going to be able to pick his successor. That guy probably could have been the next Andrew Friedman. Could have been Andrew Friedman himself. We don't even know. And now the trust, you have to give it to someone else.
It also just reminds you, and LA fans know this, you know how they say you take your health for granted until it's gone? If you're a sports fan, you take a good owner for granted until that isn't the case. The McCourts of the world are much more common than the Mark Walters of the Dodgers world. And it's interesting talking about Walter now, and you said this, right? It's a blemish on him potentially. I think of Mark Walter in the Lakers context, and I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off at Mark Walter. Whatever the reasons, whatever the sort of machinations or the political pressure or his own decision-making or his own greed or his own disinterest in basketball, whatever the hell's going on, I'm mad at Mark Walter. I think of Walter, the Dodgers owner, and I can almost see a saintly halo around his head when I visualize this guy. It is very, very likely, but it is more likely that the Lakers' new owners will be bad to mediocre at their job than they will be what Walter has been for the Dodgers. And so what is lost here isn't going to be known until we get a sense of whether or not, and maybe, by the way, maybe Josh Kushner's going to be an amazing owner. Maybe he's going to absolutely shock us and be incredible and invest and love this team. And Bob Iger will have his ear. Bob Iger is not going to be the controlling owner according to Axios, but Bob Iger has spent a lot of time sitting courtside, and maybe it'll work. But we knew it was going to work with Mark Walter. So this is a day where the Lakers organization went from being in great hands to uncertain hands. And I'm sorry to tell you this, LA fans, if it turns out Kushner's a bad owner, bad in the sense of for your product, for the Lakers' success, there's no undoing that. He's not buying the Lakers in order to sell them, I don't think, in 9 months. He wanted a chunk of FIFA. And so either it's a prestige thing, or it's a place to diversify his money, or, and this is the really big worry because he's in private equity, it's a way to make money. And the way that you make money in private equity is you buy something and you cut the costs and you maximize the profits. It isn't about the customer experience. It certainly isn't about winning basketball games. Now, maybe that won't be his philosophy, but there's a world where today's story, DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1, The Fan, the voice of LA Sports, where we look back and we realize, oh, August 12th, 2026 was the day that the Lakers went from having the best owner in sports to one of the worst. It's possible. It's possible, but I also think, look, as disgusting as this kind of feels right now, I will say that there were no guarantees that it was going to work with Mark Walter, just because as good as that ownership group was for the Dodgers, there's no guarantee that would have worked in the NBA. You guaranteed it 2 months ago on this show. There was a lot of positives, but a guarantee is kind of wild. I mean, you were, and I was sure too. You were sure. There's a lot of positive with the Dodgerification of the Lakers, but the thing is, you can't just throw money at every single problem and expect it to work. That's what the Dodgers have done in a lot of ways with their own organization. You can't do that in the NBA and expect it to work because, like I said, the roster builds are different. You can't just pay everyone. There's not unlimited funds. I think the most exciting thing that was going to surround the Lakers with the Dodgers was going to be that they were going to emphasize and pump a lot of money and funds into scouting and analytics and trying to optimize players, trying to get players that were C's, turn them into B's, players that were B's, turn them into A's, in coaching and development. That is really the secret sauce with the Dodgers, and I was excited to see what that could look like with the Lakers. And look, now we know that for whatever reason, where there will be that there were legal reasons, whether there was some pressure for him to sell, whether maybe you got a taste of what the NBA world looked like, or you just saw that profit margin go up. For whatever reason, you hate the fact that you were about stewardship for 1 minute and then you look like a profiteer, and then it was more about monetization, was it? Well, I don't know if it's monetization. It could be political pressure. It could be, oh my God, I'm being investigated federally. I don't think. But you still need that monetization to fulfill that, though. You still were forced to sell one way or the other, right? Yeah, based on what you're saying. What I'm saying is, I don't know. You could be right. I do not think this is Mark Walter waking up and going, you know what? I want $2.5 billion more. I think it's some version of I need to raise money. I have this federal investigation. There's going to be financial consequences, some kind of political pressure, some kind of connection. It's just, then you said it earlier, none of this makes any sense. This guy buying the Lakers as an investment and then selling it once he could make this kind of profit would make sense. But I don't think that was his plan. That's not the thing that's not how he carried himself. Do you think Jeannie Buss feels betrayed today? She'd probably feel some type of way. I would say so. But I think also we're going to find out that people kind of had to do what they had to do, right? Like we talked about. Sometimes you got to. She did her own family. Yeah, well, a little succession there, right? Tom ended up with the CEO of the company, right, in Succession. So. Oh, you can't tell people that. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's spoiler. I don't know. Maybe you can. That was a year ago, right? Or two? It's been a minute. Things have changed, and we'll see what her involvement's going to be if someone gets a quote from her, a statement from her. But look, we got to hear from Jeannie Buss and see what she thinks and has to say about all this. You made a great point earlier. DMAC and Reiter here on the new 97.1, The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. And by the way, you make great points constantly. They're all great points. But this particular point, it sort of sparked a thought that Mark Walter spent a lot of time going back to 2021 buying a stake in the Lakers, having the right of first refusal. I know people who are really close to Jeannie. I used to know Jeannie pretty well. He did a great job courting her and making her comfortable. And as I understand it, some of this is spin, and there's some people out there that carry water and break news and carry water for Jeannie. I don't want to do that, but so take it with a grain of salt because this is coming from people close to Jeannie. But Jeannie was convinced of a couple things when she sold to Walter. One, they will tell you, Jeannie and people around Jeannie, that they were convinced that this guy loved the Lakers and would treat them with the same investment and the same care that he did the Dodgers, right? That is a thing that Jeannie Buss believed. And so she really believed that she was setting up her family, but also setting up the Lakers for success. I do think two things can be true at once. I think Jeannie wanted and needed the money, and she's a billionaire now. I also think she did take seriously her father's sort of love and stewardship, Dr. Buss's impact on this city through the Lakers, and wanted to protect that, and came to the conclusion, I can't protect it if my family owns it. She also was convinced, I understand it, right? Sort of to your point, the Mark Walter courtship of Jeannie for 5 years. She was convinced that he would respect her voice. She was convinced when she got a written piece of paper that she could still be the governor and therefore control the front office if she wanted to, and control the RSN and make sort of basketball decisions, that that would be pretty binding in a way that it wasn't for Mark Cuban, right? The Cuban example had already come and gone, so she kind of knew what the risk was. She wakes up today and she has a situation where her father's creation is no longer in reliable hands. Doesn't mean it won't work, but she doesn't know. And she doesn't have a relationship with Josh Kushner. And so I'm not worried about Jeannie Buss the way I am Lakers fans, but I bet she does feel betrayed today. Sleepless night for Jeannie Buss coming tonight. And by the way, you can be careful who you trust. I mean, I don't know maybe it's not even Mark Walter's fault, but it doesn't matter if it's not Jeannie's fault. She made a choice, and she probably did it for all the right reasons, including her own. If the Lakers are not well run in 2 years, Jeannie Buss has destroyed her legacy and her family's legacy, and that sucks. But that's part of what we're going to find out too.
And that's the thing about this whole situation as far as it's linked to Jeannie Buss. I think a lot of lifelong Lakers fans, people that have followed this franchise for decades, that Buss name was synonymous with greatness, with the Lakers, and Jeannie Buss was supposed to be the person that was going to take this to the modern era. It didn't work out. They cashed out. She made those decisions. You had all those ugly moments with her and her brothers. And I think that even before this, even with Mark Walter, there were still people saying that maybe in 5 years, Jeannie Buss was going to be gone, right? Even with Mark Walter in place, even though it was a smoother transition, just because they had a relationship, just because that existed, there was still rumors and people speculating that maybe eventually they would just kind of get her out of the picture. So I think this makes that even worse.
DMAC and Reiter here on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. We are going to keep talking about this. We're going to get to your comments. If you're watching the show on the YouTube stream, there's a bunch of you doing it at The Fan LA, and you want to sort of give your perspective, you can just jump in the comment section. We're going to try to go through those. There's a lot of you making a lot of different comments. We also want to hear from you. If you're listening on the stream, if you're driving around LA, if you're listening on the radio on 97.1 The Fan on the FM, do you think this will end well for the Lakers? That's the ultimate question. Will this ultimately be good news for the Lakers' hopes to compete in the Western Conference and in the NBA to championship level over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Tell us at 855-97-LA-FAN, 855-97-LA-FAN. We'll take your phone calls, and we'll keep talking about one of the most shocking days in LA sports history next on DMAC and Reiter. Show, DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That is injury help to 40222. We are talking about the sale, again, of the Los Angeles Lakers. So if you missed this, the news came out today. Ramona Shelburne at ESPN broke the story that the Lakers are being sold at a $12.5 billion valuation to venture capitalist Josh Kushner, who is the brother of Jared Kushner, who's married to the president's daughter, and former Disney CEO Bob Iger. They have Thrive Eternal, that's their company, together. Now, a source told Axios that Kushner will be the controlling owner, and as we know, this comes just 10 months after a similar agreement was put into place between Mark Walter, the owner of the Dodgers, and Jeannie Buss. That deal closed 9 months ago. So, in effect, Mark Walter is going to own this team for 9 months before deciding to sell to someone else. Now, the context that we've been discussing is that Mark Walter has a federal investigation looking into him and alleged tax fraud in companies he controls. The Wall Street Journal claims that authorities, they broke this story a few weeks ago, that authorities are examining about $16 billion in private credit deals. On top of just the uncertainty and the worry, there was this sort of unification of the Dodgers and the Lakers that was happening. They were sharing resources and philosophy. The Dodgers-ification, which is a word I'm trouble saying, the Lakers was a thing that was happening. DMAC. What do you think the conversation's like with Andrew Friedman, right? I know this is like not the biggest concern on the face of the earth, but if you're Andrew Friedman, you probably have to ask when Mark Walters tells you, hey, remember that Dodger stuff, that Lakers stuff you're doing? Just kidding. I'm sure that Friedman had to ask some pretty pointed questions just to know where things stand.
Yeah, it does feel like this is one of those situations where they probably feel like they got the rug pulled out from underneath them, right? Just because whatever work they did, it was probably elite. It was probably time-consuming. It probably required a lot of effort and mental bandwidth. And I'll tell you this, I remember talking to Andrew Friedman back in December when I was in Orlando for the winter meetings, and I was joking with him. I said, hey, Andrew, don't let the Dodgers offseason distract you from getting the Lakers Giannis, right? And he was laughing about it, smiling from ear to ear. And it turns out that Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi were essentially going to tons of Lakers games. They were going to those games. They were watching those games. And it's kind of one of those things where if Andrew...
You saw him in a bunch of those
games.
You
did. You saw him yourself.
I actually, I would get into they had like a fancy schmancy place for all the fancy people. I'd get in there, and they had free sushi. And I was always trying to figure out how much sushi I could eat without people noticing me. And Friedman was always there. And I'm like, I'm like, this guy's going to remember me and be like, why are you stealing all the sushi? It's very Larry David moment.
I love it, man.
But he was
you never turn down great sushi.
He was there.
Yeah.
He was there all the time.
And that's the thing, too. So if you are Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi and whoever was invested in this, and even Lon Rosen, who was taking over there, they were moving. They were taking a lot of these positions and putting in the groundwork, laying the foundation for this next era of Laker basketball. And that's why I think just the abruptness of all of this is what leads me to believe that, look, it's not as cut and dry as a guy just trying to take advantage of this. I mean, I can see it, okay, maybe you don't want the bubble to burst on franchise values. Maybe you're realizing that it's not as easy to build a championship contender in the NBA as it is in Major League Baseball when you have all the money. But I think it's got to be deeper than this. I really, truly do. I mean, how about this? What if this, Bill? What if after all of this, everything that he was dealing with from a legal standpoint went away in like 2 weeks, right? Like, what if that all went away?
You know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, and what people are going to say, if a federal investigation goes away shortly after selling the team that he just bought, and by all indications he didn't want to sell, selling the team to the brother of the son-in-law of the president, that there's going to be people are going to raise concerns of corruption and collusion and what you call it, a shakedown.
Yeah, a little bit of a shakedown.
And let me go a different direction. By the way, those of you that think this is a political commentary, it's not. Let me also say this. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe Mark Walter is in some deep trouble of his own making, and that the allegations of the allegations of tax fraud and the investigation by the feds into, $16 billion in private credit deals, that's a lot of money. Maybe he's just in financial trouble, or he's worried that if he doesn't win this battle with the federal government, he'll be in financial trouble, and he just needs $2.5 billion. Let me say this, though. And we don't. The Wall Street Journal has not been able to get its arms around how serious and how much money and what could happen. But if Walter is selling because he's worried about having to pay down debts through a failed sort of defense of being federally investigated, why is $2.5 billion enough? How do we know that the Dodgers don't become something that is on the table? I mean, I'm sure he doesn't want to sell the Dodgers. I'm also sure he doesn't want to go to prison and doesn't want to have to pay fine. My point is, I don't think he's going to sell the Dodgers either. There's nothing to suggest that, but we don't know until we don't know. I mean, like, if he needs $2.5 billion in order to pay off problems with allegations of tax issues, why isn't it $4 billion? How do we know it's not $6 billion?
Yeah, that's a great point.
What do you do?
What do you do? What do you do? And that's the thing about this is you're getting liquidated in all of this, and that's why this situation it is catnip for conspiracy theorists, right? You are putting a lot of gasoline on conspiracy theorist campfires here, right? And look, if you just want to lay this out, I'm not saying this is what's happening, just from a pure speculation. If you are someone that was buying into this conspiracy theory, where you already know that you laid out the federal prosecutors and the SEC are examining almost $16 billion in loans and investments involving companies that are connected to Walter and his conglomerate, TWG Global. And the core question really is Walter's insurance companies, did they properly disclose and classify investments that were tied to the other businesses in his empire, right? So you got those investigations, and then Mark Walter gets hit with an SEC investigation. 3 weeks ago, he visits the White House, and he gives Donald Trump, the president, most powerful guy in the world, a championship ring. And then now, all of a sudden, the Lakers, not just the marquee franchise in the NBA, but now we can say they're the marquee franchise in all of sports, they're sold for a record $12.5 billion. So if you're a conspiracy theorist right there, I'm sure you're really having a field day with that. This is Christmas for conspiracy theorists.
DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1, the fan, the voice of LA sports. I sort of popped out of my chair when you went pour fuel on the campfire of conspiracy theorists. It was so good.
It feels like it, right?
And I know you weren't at home writing that down this morning, which is no problem with that, but that's spontaneous because this just happened.
I'm about that life.
I know you are. Can I add to the conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Can I just add some perspective that, again, this may just be, what did George R. R. Martin say? Words are wind, right? Like, this may be nothing.
Yeah.
But it may be something. Federal investigation. So as someone that used to cover non-sports many, many, many years ago, federal investigations are really, really hard to get information on because federal prosecutors, federal investigators, federal law enforcement, it's very elite. It's very hard to get those jobs. It's very buttoned down. It's very guarded and very secret. So it's hard to break news on federal investigations. We know that Mark Walter is being investigated federally, not because they filed a public document, right? It's not because they filed any sort of indictment. It's because the Wall Street Journal broke the story. So if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I have friends who work at the Wall Street Journal, it's their sort of politics of that paper is actually the editorial page, but the Journal's considered a more right-leaning publication than, say, the New York Times, right? More Republicans read the Wall Street Journal, more Democrats read the New York Times. That's kind of the deal. How did the Wall Street Journal find out Walter's being investigated? Why did it come out just a couple weeks before he sold the team? I mean, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, the timing's really interesting because federal investigations aren't like baseball games. You can't go to the press conference and be like, hey, who are you investigating right now? Oh, Mark Walter. Okay, got it, thanks. Right, that's the timing on that's pretty... What a coincidence that a reporter, an intrepid reporter at the Wall Street Journal, was able to crack the case on Mark Walter just a few weeks before he sold the team. And if you want to be a conspiracy theorist.
Exactly, right? And I think that's what this feeds into. And for me, that's why I think we're both in agreement on this, that this is not just a shrewd businessman. I've interviewed Mark Walter multiple times. And if you get a chance to talk to him, very straightforward. He comes off almost like he could be a Bond villain in some ways, right?
Really?
As far as just, he's very intense, but stoic, right?
Did he ever go, watch yourself, Mr. Bond?
He didn't hit me with that one, right?
Okay.
And I'm not saying he is that, but I am saying that if you do want to view this as someone that just is making a massive profit, why would he do that when he's still owning the Dodgers and still making what was record revenue last year, right? Over $1 billion with that Dodgers team. So it's not like he's only relying on this as his only source of massive revenue, massive income. That's why, to me, it just feels like we're days away, weeks away from learning more about this. You don't just sell the Lakers when you bought it for $10 billion, and then 14 months later, you get that $12.5 billion sale and you profit $2.5 billion. Here, my question is this, too. I mean, where's the money coming from on the sale, too, right? I mean, you look at Kushner at, what, a $5-6 billion net worth, and you look at Bob Iger, $600 million, and then there's the other.
I have an answer.
Yeah.
This is where it gets kind of dicey and where it gets into the politics. So Kushner, through private equity, through like a series of investors, had already raised more than $20 billion. The money was there. It was ready to go to, in effect, purchase a giant, not a majority, but a huge minority position in FIFA, in world soccer. And the World Cup was the main thing that they would own. And so, and that is through Infantino, who is the president of FIFA. That is the person that President Trump called to have the red card rescinded. And when FIFA tried to sell portions of its product, right, it's basically a nonprofit in, I think, Sweden, somewhere in a Nordic country. When they tried to sell it, the reason it didn't go through to Josh Kushner. And by the way, this is the crazy sort of sliding doors. If it goes through, they don't buy the Dodgers or the Lakers because they don't have the money. So that's the other thing. If Mark Walter needed to sell, maybe he can't sell. Okay, but when this FIFA thing went down, UEFA, which is the European sort of association that all of them add up to FIFA, they said we're not going to do the World Cup. And there was a time where the president of FIFA was trying to sell a big chunk of FIFA to Kushner. Do you know who he called for help? He reported, there are reports that he called the President of the United States. And the President of the United States is a person whose son-in-law is the brother of the guy that was trying to buy FIFA. That is some of the, not conspiracy, that's just some of the facts that are out there. Maybe they're coincidental. But to your question about the money, they already had the money because the deal was done. It was ready to go. FIFA sort of did it on the DL and then just said, oh, here it is. We're going to do it. And there was such pushback in a way that can't happen here that it was put on hold. But the money's out there through private equity. So it's various investors who have put down money. So that's the other problem. Private equity. If you have a guy that makes his money in private equity, like Mark Walter, and then buys the thing for himself, like, okay, maybe he'll protect it. But if you have somebody like Kushner who's got $5 billion but doesn't have 12, who's not really putting much, he's raising the money. The people you raise the money from want their money back. Well, they don't want a Lakers parade. They want their money back.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was trying to make is that you don't go in there with a $12.5 billion cashier's check, right? You don't really do that. But it's more about, okay, how much you have invested in Thrive, the back end. The point is that you have two heavyweights, Guggenheim, and you got Kushner's group, and this is big business. And, yeah, let's keep it moving, baby. I know we got more people on the way wanting to talk about it too, right?
Do you know what's going on? Drive. Well, you got a watch on. I don't. We've done like a role reversal. Clocks. Where we're going, we don't need clocks. We're blowing through our required breaks because we love talking sports with you, LA, even on what is, it feels like a dark day. All right, let's do this. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to keep talking about the Lakers sale. We're gonna get into all the stuff. We're going to take your phone calls at 855-97 LA fan. Are you down? You drive this for me. Are you down to try to do one segment of positivity? To just pretend it's all going to be okay, and we'll try to sell that next segment.
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
We're doing it next on DMAC and Reiter. Welcome back into DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That is calldowntown.com. You can also text injury help to 40222. Man, the Lakers, as you all know, and we've been discussing, sold again.
It's always the Lakers, right? It's always the
Crazy,
drama, man. It's always the drama with the Lakers.
What's that stupid movie, The Runaway Bride? Like, the Lakers are basically the team people keep running away from.
They really are, right? It feels like that way.
So it's a $12.5 billion valuation. Venture capitalist Josh Kushner is the principal owner and the controlling owner, according to Axios. He is partnering up with former Disney CEO Bob Iger. Those, Kushner and Iger, are the two primary folks. Mark Walter is obviously the seller. He is the owner of the Dodgers. And the disconcerting thing for the Dodgers and Dodgers fans is Walter's been such an amazing steward and owner of this Dodgers organization that you just don't want any of whatever issues may be going on, maybe there aren't any, that led him to sell the Lakers 9 months later to bleed into his Dodgers ownership situation. And why might there be issues that could impact him? Because he is under federal investigation, according to the Wall Street Journal, for alleged tax fraud connected to companies he controls. It could be, according to the Journal, up to $16 billion in private credit deals. So we've been pretty negative. I've been pretty negative. Are you down for like we'll come back to this, but a bizarro world where I don't know how to do this. Like,
just a beacon of positivity.
You want to do go into like the, Candyland, the Care Bears land? Like, hey, everybody, it's going to be great. Do we have music for this?
Sunshines and rainbows and puppies.
Do you want me to go first?
Hit it.
Here's the great news, everybody. This is great because Mark Walter's a great owner, but he was stretched way too thin. But now Josh Kushner's going to come in and he's going to use his vast experience making money for rich people to make the Lakers a winner again. He's smart and he's capable. And even though Bob Iger destroyed Disney, he's going to make the Lakers successful forever.
Oh, that voice. Oh, you do it too.
Or did Bob Iger, I can't even do it.
You can do it.
Okay.
The voice is great.
Did he get the Lakers as another iconic property? He's had Marvel and Star Wars and Pixar. Now he's got the Lakers. Well, now we can do the Mickey Mouse. No. Well, hi, I'm Mickey. Haha. But no.
You're
look,
better at doing iconic big voices than this one.
How about this?
Talk to me.
Kushner has
Why you go
wanted.
so deep? Why are you compensating?
Okay.
Talk to me.
No, I don't even know.
It's Bill Reiter. This is my natural voice.
Okay, like, how about this? Kushner has wanted to own a franchise, has been putting in the work to own an NBA franchise. He had a very small minority stake in the Grizzlies, believe it was under 3%, had an ownership stake in the Miami Heat, which, of course, you're going to give up. This has been his vision for quite some time. And Mark Walter, I think things changed abruptly, but it's not like you're getting an owner that had no designs of owning an NBA franchise. He just happened to get the crown jewel. He happened to get the Mona Lisa of NBA franchises.
Yeah, you're not selling me. Because
Well, that's a pretty solid. I think that's the first starting point for me.
The guy that owns the Kings was every owner that's ever bought a team has been a minority owner, usually before, and many of them are still disastrous. Here's my good news. You ready? Bob Iger is a worldwide genius who turned Disney into a juggernaut. Now that he's retired and bored, he and his wife, who runs the USC School of Journalism, I believe, are going to take their creative and journalistic ethics and values, and even though they don't control the team, they're the secondary owner, they're going to convince and work with Josh Kushner to turn the Lakers into the storied winner that it's always been and deserved to be, and they're going to compete with Mark Walter. They're not just going to buy the Lakers from him, they're going to compete with what he's done with the Dodgers, and they'll be two incredible stewards of these publicly important organizations. I don't believe a word I just said.
Hey, you sold me. I like that. Yeah, why not? Hey, I like the competition aspect of it, right? Everyone they're going to go into this with a little bit of an edge, right? Everyone's saying, "Oh, the sky is falling because the Lakers were inevitably going to have parades and dynasties and championships because of Mark Walter and his past with the Lakers and the Dodgers, and that was going to be the case." But look,
you were saying that.
I was saying that.
You are running away from Mark Walter.
I'm not.
Last segment, you're like, "There's no guarantee."
If you go back, I have been pretty.
Oh, dude, don't.
I have been consistent.
Yeah.
If you go back months, I've been consistent about how winning in baseball and winning in the NBA are two different things. But I still liked. It was still an upgrade. Anything was going to be an upgrade.
You're doing. You're cherry picking the.
I have not. I've been consistent.
Yeah, you were consistent that it was a different thing, and you're like, "But it's still gonna work."
Okay, I'll give you my next one.
I'm Doug. Yeah.
Kushner the new ownership group, they are not being investigated by the SEC, right? They're not in a federal investigation.
fair.
So maybe they can focus a little more on building an NBA team and building an NBA franchise and turning this once proud, iconic franchise, which they still are, and get them back to their glory days.
Here's one. How about the positive that Josh Kushner speaks Slovenian? He doesn't, though. That I know of.
You really have me. Hey,
That I know of.
here's another positive one. Ready?
Okay.
You talk about the FIFA, the political background, right?
Right.
How about if Luka Doncic gets his 7th technical in the playoffs, they can just call the White House and pull the Balogun thing, and Luka Doncic won't be suspended.
Give it a cheer. That's the only actual true answer we've given of possible
It's
positivity.
go full Balogun on him. Get Luka. Make sure he's there.
Here's the thing, dude, and I know you know this. There's a difference between loving a team and knowing how to run a team. Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, wants to be good at that job. Jerry Jones wants the Cowboys to win. So the reason that ownership can go badly is first you have to want the team to be good. That's not a guarantee. Some owners don't care, and it's just a money play. Even if, and it's an if, Kushner and Iger are buying this investment for the sports of it, not the money of it, even then, they still have to be good at it, which there's no guarantee.
That's interesting.
Positivity
That's
over.
I like
the music down. Negative. I'm being honest again.
Glass half full, glass just pouring out of there. Okay, how about this?
Okay.
2041, that's when the lease ends up on the Crypto.com
I
arena.
was thinking about this too.
Maybe you break that and you build a new state-of-the-art arena. Yes, downtown is a hub. Yes, Staples was there. Now it's crypto. Maybe you get something else.
What if they build it in El Segundo so I can walk?
The Gundo.
The Gundo.
That sounds like a plan.
They're not going to do that.
But
Where
new
would
stadium.
you want a new LA stadium if they were going to do that?
I mean, I would
Where's
find
the
a way to
place?
just
Somewhere
demolish
down-
Staples and just rebuild the whole thing. That would be the perfect spot. I like DTLA.
They gotta use. Oh yeah.
I like DTLA law.
I love DTLA.
So
You know what I'm saying?
I would probably go right there.
So you'd almost have to like be the Clippers tenant for a while.
You would, yeah. Because AEG owns crypto, right? So maybe that's what they could do.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your positivity. We're gonna get a new stadium in 20 years.
Hey, you could break that lease
did
earlier
it!
when you're a baller.
We are gonna get into what this could mean for Luka Doncic. Does Doncic care that his team keeps getting sold? That is next on DMAC and Reiter. All right, what's up, Los Angeles? We're going to make sense together of this Lakers sale here on DMAC and Reiter, which is presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. We cannot undo time and make this sale go away, but we can give one of you some free stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mark Walter didn't get the Lakers away for free, that's for sure.
Sure didn't. It's giveaway time. The LA Sparks are hosting Dodgers Night on August 20th at Crypto.com Arena, and the first 12,500 fans will receive a free Sparks and Dodgers co-branded jersey. Get your tickets at LASparks.com. That is LASparks.com. Or call in right now. Caller number 4 gets a 4-pack of tickets to Dodgers Night at Crypto.com Arena as the Sparks host the Atlanta Dream on August 20th. That phone number, 855-97-LA-FAN. 855-97-LA-FAN. If you want to call us and talk about the Lakers, it's the same number. Maybe wait till we give those away. If you want to get in the comment section at the Fan LA, over on YouTube. I wonder how Luka Doncic is feeling about this, because he's a superstar. He's one guy. We're not in his head. We don't know. But if he's at all disconcerted, if this is at all problematic, if Luka Doncic looks around and goes, you know what, this place is ridiculous and it's unpredictable and it's not stable. I don't want to be here. There's a major problem.
Absolutely. And I think that's the guy who I think is impacted most about this. And I really do. I mean, of course, there's a genie bus angle, but let's be honest. This is supposed to be the time where Luka Doncic continues to build that trust. And he gave that trust to this ownership group. And we heard for so many months now that part of this offseason was that Rob Pelinka, the ownership group, Luka Doncic, they were in lockstep, that they were going about this summer to try to build this roster, to build a championship contender. And now Luka Doncic has to gain the trust of a new ownership group. He has to be asking himself, are they going to do everything in their power to build a championship? Because the Dodgers and the Guggenheim Group and Mark Walter, they sold Luka Doncic on a vision. What is going to be Kushner's vision? What is going to be the vision of this ownership group? Are they going to be as committed to scouting, developing, prioritizing analytics? We know that was going to be the Dodgers' business model. Yeah.
All of which costs money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the money. It's poor. Yep. So that's the thing. You can't just go and buy all the players, right? Even if you could, there's only 5 guys on the court, right? It's not like it's baseball.
And we don't even know they want to.
Exactly.
Even if they wanted to, they can't.
We don't know that.
This is it feels like a disaster. You know what it feels like? A horror movie where like it's dark and then you're like, is that Steve? Is that one of the good guys? And then you're dead.
Yeah, it really does. It does feel like you just don't trust who's around the corner, right? You kind of hear some footsteps, like who's that guy? Like, who is that? Another monster? Is that someone that's going to take this franchise for Luka Doncic and elevate it? Because he's got to feel comfortable and he has to focus on the main thing. He doesn't have to have in the back of his mind, hey, am I with the right organization? Are these the right guys? Are these the right people that are going to help me accomplish my goals? The Lakers, for as valuable as they are, they still revolve around their best player, and that's Luka Doncic, and it's got to be tough for him. I mean, you go from the Mavericks changing ownership, and you go from the Lakers changing ownership, and then he goes through the whole LeBron thing, then he's gone, and then now you got a whole new ownership group that has to win him over, and I hope that's their approach. I hope their approach is, hey, top priority number 1, let's get in contact with our best player and show him our vision and make it to where it's better than what the Guggenheim Group had. That has to be their goal.
Here's the other really big concern about this. Luka Doncic is the centerpiece of a massive gamble the Guggenheim Group took. The money they spent, the lack of flexibility, the cash, right, the investment they made in Walker Kessler and Austin Reeves in particular, the decision to go young, to construct a team entirely around Luka Doncic. That plan, and you and I both liked it here on DMAC and Reiter, that's a Guggenheim plan. Had that plan gone a little south, had things not gone well at the start of this upcoming season, if it goes slowly, if Kessler gets hurt, before we knew that the ownership group was committed to it because it was their plan, and it makes it easier for them if Luka gets cold feet. If we get to January and the Lakers are 2 games under 500, it's easier for the group that spent the money and did the plan for Guggenheim to go, look, man, I know it's not going the way we want, but here's our vision, and everybody's 28 and younger, and this is why it's going to work. It's a totally different thing if things don't go well for this version of the Lakers that were built for this ownership group to A, just buy into it. It's not their decision. And B, if Luka gets cold feet, if he gets a little nervous, if he gets a little frustrated, how do you have some stranger sell you on this idea that wasn't even theirs, that it's all going to work out and it's all going to be okay? It doesn't matter how many years Luka has on his contract. It doesn't matter what his contractual situation is. The NBA is a league where when stars want to go, they get to go. That players want to force their way out, they go. Not always to the team that they want, right? It's a question of whether or not they get to choose. Damian Lillard didn't want to be a Milwaukee Buck. He wanted to be a member of the Miami Heat. My biggest concern is the plan that has been put together around Luka Doncic, that is designed to keep Luka Doncic, that is very risky and leads to very little flexibility. That plan was designed by an organization that has just sold the team to strangers. There is no guarantee that the new ownership group of the Lakers care about winning, that if they care about winning, that they know how to do it. And even if you cross off those two sort of disconcerting boxes, that they buy into this particular approach. And so the best case scenario for the Lakers might be these guys want to win, they care about the product, they're actually pretty good at it, and they still are like, yeah, this isn't the approach we would take, though. Most billionaires do things their own way.
They do, and that's the thing. They are going to want to hire their own people, hire people that they trust, and they want their fingerprints on everything because they want to get the credit, right? They have their vision. Billionaires are billionaires for a reason. That's because they're decision makers, and they're going to be making decisions that...
And they're bad listeners. I know.
Yeah.
I'm friends with a billionaire, which is a weird thing. I've known him long before he was
That's
rich.
crazy. Like, how much...
He's a billionaire, too.
I know.
Like he's a billionaire.
Like, how do you not just be like, hey, dude, like, please let me get $10,000 today? Like,
It's funny
I
you
would just
say
have
that.
no shame.
It's funny you say that. He doesn't follow sports, so he'll never see this. When I lost my CBS job and the radio network I worked at went away, everybody was like, call that guy and ask him for a job. And I wouldn't do it because I just didn't want to. I don't want to be transactional with people, and I don't want to be transactional with my friends because everybody's transactional with this guy. And that's the other thing about billionaires that I've learned. I wasn't going to ask for a job, and I didn't. They don't trust people. It's like, and I love this guy, it's like I know one billionaire, but I think it applies. Billionaires are terrible listeners because they think they're smarter than everyone else because everything that they've done has worked out, and because a lot of the people around them they don't trust because they're always just after something. And so let's say that the intentions are good of this particular Kushner and Bob Iger. It doesn't mean that they're going to know who to listen to or how to listen to the right people when it comes to running a basketball team. That's different than running Disney or private equity.
Exactly. And that's the thing, too, is if you are Luka Doncic in this thing, and I really love what he came out when he tweeted, right, that it's about being a Laker, and he really just didn't need to do that. If I was Luka Doncic, was that?
You believe him?
Do I believe that
he loves being a Laker, and that's important to him?
I think that he has bought into the lore and the mystique of this franchise and what this franchise means to a lot of people and what success on the Lakers could mean for him and his legacy. But from a trust standpoint, I'm like, bro, like, I just got here. You trade Anthony Davis for me. We haven't even won a playoff series where I've actually played, and I'm going on my third season, parts of it here. So I think from a trust level, he has to be absolutely shook. I'm sure that if you're Luka Doncic, you still have to accept the fact and realize that, hey, you are someone that's playing for a team. It's the owner that signs your checks, and you kind of have to have an open mind about it. I would think if you're Luka, you ask yourself probably where is a better situation for me. There's not that many out there when you look at where the roster's set up. But, yeah, I'm sure the guy's got to have trust issues. The guy's trust has got to be a little broken right now.
And he has personal stuff going on, too, man.
And then you talked about that a couple different times, and that's a factor as well.
It's awful.
It's a lot, man. You got to feel for Luka Doncic. He hasn't figured this whole thing out, right? He hasn't won the championships, the MVPs. He is not even 30, right? We forget how young this guy is.
He's young.
And now to deal with this after it was a massive shock to the system just to get here in the first place, and now he's dealing with Mark Walter. I'm so curious to see how that conversation went. How did he get that news? Who told him? Who informed him of him? And I'm sure Mike, first question.
Ramona Shelburne probably did.
It had to have been, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you're sitting around Slovenia, you're dealing with personal stuff, and all of a sudden you just get the news? DMAC and Reiter, the new 97.1, the fan, the voice of LA sports. I'm going to go to another place, and it's going to sound like catastrophizing again, but I'm going to go there. And again, we are not I'm not, Doug's not going to hide from what's going on in the stories we talk about here on this station. We're on the show. We're just not. There is a political component to this. At least on the surface, it appears to be. And we'll find out in the weeks and months ahead whether it really is a political story or it's not. And I'm not planting my flag on one side or the other. But I will say this. There are already people that are identifying the Lakers as basically a MAGA movement operation. Do I think that's fair? I don't think that's fair. And it's much more complicated. And for some of you, it's like, that's great. And for some of you, like, that's the worst. Not making a judgment on that. Josh Kushner is Jared Kushner's brother. There's a connection to the Trump administration. Here's my point about that. And this is where I think it's an impact on Luka and it's an impact on the Lakers. And again, this isn't a judgment on whether MAGAism is right or wrong or good or bad. We don't do that here. The Lakers are one of the few places, it's going to be cheesy, but it's true, in society where you can go and you can just hang out with people who see the world differently than you, which I happen to think is extraordinarily important. I'm one of the only people I know. I mean, I have a very strongly held sort of view on this. And I am very intentional about having friends who see the world differently than I do because I think it's important as an American and a human being to do that. But that's hard for people because politics now is so divisive. The last thing the Lakers need is to be connected to any administration or any movement, not because I'm for or against that movement, but because it will become divisive. And I'm just telling you that if the Lakers become a politically aligned movement, right? Like Pat McAfee just went and hung out with the president. Good for Pat McAfee. He's an individual. He can do that. If that happens to the Lakers, that kind of noise and divisiveness is bad for the Lakers. It's bad for fans, and Luka Doncic isn't going to want anything to do with it. He's just, and either other players. He's just not. He just won't. That isn't being pro-Trump. That isn't being anti-Trump. What I am saying is I actually don't want politics to be a part of my sports teams because I want my sports teams, not because I shy away from those conversations. I actually like those conversations. It's because I want to have places in society where people can come together and hang out and sit with people who don't agree with them on the world and have something in common because we're all just human beings. And so that's like the practical moral part of this. On a very practical basketball sense, a lot of players aren't going to want to be a part of that drama. They don't want to talk about it. Go into a locker, Doug, you've done that. Go into a locker room and ask a player a political question that it doesn't align with his personal views. On either side of the equation, they want nothing to do with it. So there's also a danger for the Lakers if they are perceived as a political extension of this administration or any administration, but it's this administration. That becomes a problem for the product. Like that and so that's another, again, maybe that it'll be much ado about nothing. But I'm worried about the Lakers' ability to be successful if people start associating them with political movements and not the magic of the purple and the gold and Magic and Kobe and the history of everything that is to be a Lakers. Not because the politics are good or bad, but because bringing politics into certain things is always divisive, and the Lakers are about bringing people together in L.A., not the opposite.
Certainly, absolutely. Could not have said it better. I mean, it's the uniter, right? It's the great uniter. It brings us together. It makes perfect strangers high-five each other and scream with each other and cheer for one common thing. You don't want to have that in sports for sure, especially for a franchise that has that international weight and influence like the Los Angeles Lakers. So I hope that there's nothing about that. Of course, it's inevitable in a lot of different ways just because a lot of billionaires, look, you can forget about the political affiliation. It's like, how do I keep more of my billions, right? And wherever I got to sign up with, wherever I got to commit to, I'm going to try to maintain that as much as possible. But that's why you look at someone like a Luka Doncic and all of this, he, I think, has every right to feel upset, to probably feel backstabbed in some ways by this ownership group because they sat down, they told him, hey, you are the future of this organization. You're the cornerstone. You're the guy that's going to lead this franchise back to prominence. And you showed Luka the blueprints, right? You showed him what you were going to do. The roster, how different the franchise was going to be ran. You wanted Austin Reeves, we got him back. You wanted a center, we got Walker Kessler. You show him the blueprint for the house, and then you put the house up for sale, and then you're like, where are you? You're gone. And now if you're Luka Doncic, I'm saying to myself, I don't give a rat's ass about $12.5 billion. I'm saying to myself, that doesn't give me a championship ring. I don't get a championship ring because it's $12.5 billion. We don't hang a banner because we're the most expensive franchise, the most valuable franchise. This does nothing for Luka Doncic, the player. All this does is bring instability and uncertainty into a franchise that hasn't had it for years.
That he didn't choose. And it's DMAC and Reiter on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. there is a world where these guys, here's the thing. There's a world where these guys, I'm trying to be positive because I don't want to just sit here and be, the sky is falling. It's me, Chicken Little. Look. I understand that it can work out. I understand that we don't know anything about Josh Kushner. Certainly as a person that runs a professional sports team of this magnitude, being a minority owner is totally. By the way, I know minority owners. Do you know why I know them? Because they're meaningless and they will talk to reporters. I mean, they are. They are in a minority. They get cool tickets and get to go to the cool spots and like talk to the people that are actually decision makers. We don't know what this guy's going to do. And there is a world where Josh Kushner and Bob Iger are great, and they figure things out, and they commit to the actual product of winning, and they see this as the Lakers as a vehicle for greatness by helping the Lakers be great, and it works out. That is totally possible. The reason I am worried and I am dismissive and I am concerned that it will go the other direction is because that's very hard to find in owners. We should do this at some point when we're bored. If you went through every NFL team and every MLB team and every NBA team and you really did a deep dive, how many owners are extraordinary? How many are mediocre? And how many are awful? I think it's going to be a lot like quarterbacks who get drafted. Every time a quarterback is drafted, every time an owner comes in, it's going to be great. It's like a reverse obituary. It's going to be amazing. And reality usually is the bad side of things. It's hard to be successful in this business.
And that's the thing, too. I mean, I was just kind of jogging my mind for how many times do we see new ownership lead to championships in short order, and even with the Warriors. And when Lacob took over the Warriors and he got booed because of their decision to not move forward with Monte Ellis, it took some time. And you don't have that. You don't have that luxury with Luka Doncic. You'd have to win now. And that, I think, is what really pains me in all this, too, is how much urgency is the new ownership group going to have with trying to get Luka Doncic to the next level? Because Luka Doncic, he's not playing for Mark Walter's portfolio, right? He's not. Mark Walter got his return. Luka Doncic needs to get his. And I think he needs to get a roster and a team around him that's going to take him to the next level. And as far as just the ownership groups and as a whole, you're right. I mean, you look at ownership groups and minority owners, and it's all for show for a lot of ways, right? We already know those guys are filthy rich, but they're not making the decisions, right? They're not making the decisions as far as who's the general manager, who's the coaches, who are the guys in power. It's like almost like when you invest in a restaurant and you own 10% of the restaurant, you don't get to choose what's on the menu, right?
I know a guy who does that, and he shouldn't choose what's on the menu.
Bad?
I mean, here's the other thing. Like, you and I take our jobs this very seriously. We are very committed to the station. We are very committed to doing the best show that we can. Insert joke here, how I'm feeling with that. Whatever. Like, we love what we do. But that doesn't make us experts at fixing a car or putting together a financial package. The thing about owning a sports team that I find so interesting and so freaking frustrating is that I'm trying to think of like examples of people that I know. I know a guy who's amazing in interior design. He's like a contractor. He actually did like J-Lo's house or something. I would hire him to fix my house. I would never hire him to be my financial planner. Like, my dentist is really great at dealing with my teeth. He's not somebody who should be programming this station or producing this radio show. My point is, people specialize in things. And just because you're really good at selling stocks or doing insurance or how to manage HB make us money, whatever, like how oil, doesn't mean you're good at running a sports team. It's a very specific set of skills. And so you have rich people who again and again and again and again buy these things, and the ones that don't delegate, the ones like, why is Mark Walter great at his job with the Dodgers? Because he went and hired the best baseball person maybe in the history of the game and just gave him a bunch of money and said, do your thing. Mark Walter's great at being a baseball owner because he doesn't pretend he's great at baseball. That's very hard for these guys to do. And maybe this Josh Kushner dude has it in him, but normally successful rich people, because they're sports fans, assume that what they are outstanding at, and they must be to make the money they made, means they'll be outstanding at the Lakers, the Dodgers, this hockey team, and they're usually not.
They're usually not. And we have the perfect example, right? Who did the Lakers pass? And that's the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys, they were the crown jewel as far as franchise goes. If they were sold today, maybe they would be worth more as far as if it was a bidding war and how much they would actually fetch on the open market. Maybe they would get more than the Lakers, but right now they're not. And who owns them? It's Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones, it's won 3 Super Bowls there. It's turned them to this juggernaut. but he's the decision maker, and those decisions aren't it's a family business, not run the right way.
Yeah, they're not. They're a, I think juggernaut. I think you mispronounced heaping pile of.
They're a
crap
financial
that's on
juggernaut, though.
Fire. They were
They still are. I mean,
financial juggernaut. I mean, okay.
I mean, it's the Dallas Cowboys.
Come on, man.
It's Big D.
But here's the thing: like the Lakers are going to make money too. What that has nothing to do with what fans want.
Oh, I agree.
That's good for Jerry.
I agree.
I
mean,
like Jerry too.
I
Terrible
could not
shot.
agree with you more on that. I mean, fans don't. Most fans, if the franchise worth $12.5 billion, they want to make sure that there's a stewardship, there's an effort level, there's a commitment to what's in the best interest for that team to win games, to win championships, not to try to increase franchise values.
So here, like, if I were going to boil down my concerns about the new ownership group of the Lakers, it is that the chances of success, anytime you get a new owner who hasn't been an owner before, so that's why Walter was so unusual, the chances of success you're going to have a good owner on a first-time owner is lower than the chances of success you're going to find true love if you do a speed dating thing at your local Chili's. Like, it's just, right? There's a lot of crazy people out there, and it's hard to find the right chemistry. But I think you're going to have a better chance at finding true love there, Doug, 40-year-old virgin style, than you are finding the right owner, because it doesn't usually work out. What always works out is Sports Talk with Doug McCain and Bill Reiter. That's me. You know, third person. That was weird. DMAC and Reiter, thank you for hanging. Look, if you have a view on any of this, we want to hear from you. 855-97-LA-FAN, 855-97-LA-FAN. The Lakers have been sold. All right, there's also a San Francisco Giants connection here that I want to tell you about. Why the new Lakers owners are rooting against the Dodgers next on DMAC and Reiter. Welcome back into the show, DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. You may not think this is significant. I'll be curious. I know you agree, of course, the Lakers and the Dodgers have very special places in the sort of cultural firmament, is that a word, of Los Angeles. Okay, so these guys, this new ownership group, what are they called? Thrive Eternal.
Yeah.
is buying the Lakers. Thrive Eternal. It's really on the nose. Ramona Shelburne reported that Thrive Eternal focuses on restoring iconic brands. Cool. Great. So they bought the Lakers. Okay, $12.5 billion, bunch of money. Their first investment, the first team that they want to thrive eternally, is the San Francisco Giants. Bro, you can't be an LA steward and be trying to make the Giants good again.
Yeah, that's something
not okay,
that
dude.
It's insane. It is kind
Somebody
of
get
insane.
Josh on the phone. Josh Kushner, explain it to him.
Yeah, I remember a couple months ago when the Colorado Avalanche were trying to fight for a Stanley Cup playoff, a Stanley Cup, and you had the ownership group for the Rams and just kind of the big wigs, the Les Sneads, wearing Avalanche gear, and people are like, what are they doing? What the hell? Why are LA franchises supporting the Colorado Avalanche, especially when you have an NHL team in LA, the Los Angeles Kings? The optics felt weird, and that's the Avalanche. Of course, that's because Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Rams, owns the Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets. Just the Giants takes it to a whole nother level.
You can't do that.
You can't.
And you said it. Some owners have all these sort of. The guy that owns the Sixers also owns the Commanders, whose name I'm totally blanking on, even though I've interviewed his right hand guy a million times. Even that's a little okay, I guess, maybe, kind of. Now, I will say this: we have been, Josh Harris. Thank you, Bursch. We've been very skeptical about Josh Kushner and Bob Iger and this ownership play and what it could mean for the Lakers. Would you say, is that fair? We're worried?
Yeah, I would say so, for sure.
Maybe he's what's the opposite of an evil genius? A good genius?
All billionaires are bad, right?
A heroic genius?
Yeah.
No, I got one friend.
Okay, yeah.
What if, let's just riddle me this, DMAC here on DMAC and Reiter. What if Josh Kushner bought the San Francisco Giants minority stake to basically be an inside man, right?
A double
A
agent.
fifth column, a double agent.
Ooh.
And he's going to tear them apart from the inside while building up the Lakers. That would make him an all-time great.
That would make him an all-time great. That would make him an LA legend for sure.
Yeah.
Or
He couldn't go to San Francisco anymore, though.
Or it's the awkward thing about this. It's Mark Walter's Dodgers versus Josh Kushner's Giants, right? How awkward does that feel? Just think about that.
Awkward.
That's awkward. That's weird. And that's why you kind of hate the fact that this is where we are when it comes to sports ownership. It's the ultra rich. It's about making money. And yes, it's a product. It's entertainment there.
I don't think it's for Walter, right? You'd agree it's not a money play. At least the Dodgers haven't been.
No, I think just in a general sense.
No, I
just
totally-
ownership.
I totally agree
I don't
with
think that. I firmly believe that we are going to find out things about Mark Walter in the coming days, weeks, and months that are going to be linked to why he ultimately made this sale. And I think that we're going to find out whether or not there are going to be any ramifications legally, and if those will go away with some of the investigations into what happened with his other companies. But I do think that you don't just move on from the Lakers knowing that was. Here's the thing. The Lakers were supposed to be his next legacy project, right? It was supposed to be,
right.
Oh, I've beaten the game when it comes to the Dodgers ownership. Now let me take on another challenge. Let me continue to ingratiate myself into this community by saying, wow, you saved the Dodgers. Now you're going to save the Lakers. But instead of being his legacy project, he cashed out. And that's why the optics are so weird.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think, and we don't know, it's DMAC and Reiter as we try to figure out why Mark Walter agreed to, the news came out today, agreed this weekend to sell the Lakers 9 months after he took control. We're going to find out. I'm with you. I think there was massive pressure on him to do this. He didn't want to do this. This is my guess and speculation. And it's going to be very fascinating what that pressure was. Financial, political, legal, whatever it is. Here's another thing, and I got to be careful here because you don't have to live or be from the city that you own a team in to be a proper steward of it. And the perfect example is Clark Hunt. Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, does not live in Kansas City. Ever. Has never lived. He lives in Dallas. He's a part of the Dallas world. And he's still a very good, very, very good steward of that team, obviously. However, do you consider Joshua Kushner a person of LA if he and his wife, this is according to AI, which is never wrong, DMAC. Him and I think his wife's a model, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good job.
Smoke show.
Is she?
I mean, yeah. That was just instinctive.
That was a weird. I liked it. They split their time, according to AI, among a $30 million beachfront place in Malibu, a $24 million mansion in Miami, and a $43 million penthouse in New York. Okay, they're spending twice the money in New York. He's a New Yorker, dude. Does that matter too? Maybe it doesn't matter. Because Walter lives here, right? I mean, as much as a billionaire lives anywhere.
I want to say, was he in Montana at one point?
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Ballmer, doesn't Steve Ballmer still take his helicopter from L.A. to Seattle and things like that?
He's at the games, man.
He's at the games.
Is this guy
he's
going to
very
be at every
front-facing.
Lakers game?
That's a good question.
I don't.
That would be one of the first questions I would ask him. I mean,
that would be the question.
Or I'd
I'd ask him how to get past your security. To be in front of you.
I'd ask him to pay off my student loan debt. But I think
that's why I didn't ask my buddy for a job. Everybody's constantly, hey, dude, I did the math once on this. If you have, I'm bad at math. If you have that's why I'm not a billionaire. If you have $5 billion, what is $1 million to you? Like, what is the?
It's a parking ticket.
Right. It's like, it'd be like me giving someone, $1,000 and you giving someone $1.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. That I feel that would be giving me that amount of money. That'd be way less than you would get from your friend who's a billionaire. We should ask him maybe what he would say about that, right? But as far as will he be front facing? Will Bob Iger be front facing? Will they be sitting courtside? Will they be a part of it? That's a big question.
But Bob Iger's not the controlling owner.
He's not, but he's
Magic Johnson, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong on that. I think that winning is going to solve all their problems, and trying to, I think, win over a fan base, how do you do it? You do it by winning. You do it by putting together a really good product and making great hires. So the issue with all of this, too, is that a lot of this roster, it's already put in place, right? It's not like you can do a lot with this roster to begin with, even with new ownership group, because they really locked in this roster top to bottom for most part.
I mean, this is a terrifying thing, and I don't think this will happen. You can trade Luka Doncic. I mean, that's how you rebuild. That's how you could tear it down if you really, really wanted to. Can I take a quick victory lap here? This is like very unrelated. Can I just take a little a victory lap against the morning show?
Do it.
Which I love. I love that show. But a friend of mine pointed this out. That friend was you. What? You did? You pointed it out.
That's right.
You can't. You don't want the credit?
Yeah. No, I'll take the credit.
I'll take it back. A friend
I already
of mine.
took it.
His name.
Put it in my pocket.
Put it in your pocket, bro.
Here's the credit.
Don't lose it.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten this. So we had it's great radio. It's all good. No hard feeling. We had a little disagreement over some mercenary words and some things in LeBron a few weeks ago. And I went on the show and you're right. Okay. And it was fun. And the reason I went on is because they played clips of me and kind of, went at me a little bit. That's fine. They went after my LeBron take. I forgot this. And I think this was primarily Cody's takes. This might be a very lap with Cody. I can't remember. One of their sort of primary points about why I was like not being fair to LeBron is that LeBron was the reason the Lakers were super valuable. That LeBron's a rival is why Mark Walter had to spend so much money on the Lakers. Because LeBron left, and now it's worth $2.5 billion more. So by that logic, LeBron was actually decreasing the value of the Lakers by $2.5 billion, which isn't the thing. That's the wrong logic. But on the victory lap front, it was never about LeBron. And that's a point I made earlier. I just forgot. My good friend, I won't say he was you, pointed out, like, remember that was one of their points.
Yeah, look, I totally agree. I mean, that's something that you brought up as far as, hey, yes, the Lakers, I don't care who's on the roster. You can still have Smush Parker on that roster. You can have Ronny Turiaf on that roster. There's still going to be a $10 billion franchise. And LeBron James being on the Lakers wasn't the reason why the franchise value increased to that level. That's like saying that the value of SoFi Stadium went up because Taylor Swift performed there. That's not how that stuff works, right? That's not how it works, right? So I think for LeBron James, it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, he got out of Dodge. People are kind of trying to give him credit, saying that he made the right decision. But I think this kind of boils down to is franchise values, they're largely based on their market size, how much profit is there for potential. I think maybe if there's one player that you could probably maybe make the case where you could bake in that player and what he could do that franchise's value, it would be Shohei Ohtani, because with Shohei, you can make tons of money on top of just paying him as a player, especially on his contract. The Dodgers made over $1 billion last year, and there was talk about just the local economy in Philly and how LeBron James was going to improve that and give that a little bit of a bump. But still, we're talking about $100, $200, maybe $300 million tops. We're not talking $2 or $3 or $4 billion. So, yeah, I think kind of looking back at all of this, maybe if I'm LeBron James, though, I'm thinking to myself, hey, they wanted me to play for $4 million and sell the franchise for $12.5 billion.
Right.
But still, you're an employee, dude.
Hey.
You don't own the franchise. You're an employee.
Going back to the victory lap. You win some, you lose some. Or in this case, you win some, you win some, you win some, you win some.
Okay, he's getting loose here.
I'm just saying, what, on this particular, we were loose yesterday.
Yeah.
You started it, though.
You definitely started.
No, because you did a, do you want me to do it? I'm not going to do it.
But yeah, look, it is.
Ignoring me doesn't work, right? I'll just do
I
it
know.
anyway.
I can feel it.
That's not the
I can feel
strategy.
it. I feel the charge over there. But it is something to kind of consider too long term if you are the Lakers. Just, hey, if you're Luka Doncic, you know that, hey, it had nothing to do with LeBron James. It had nothing to do with everything surrounding it. I think it had more to do with the guys way in the past. Like, the Lakers aren't the Lakers without the Jerry Wests, the Kareems, the Magics, even the Kobes and Shaqs. Then the game kind of exploded when Michael Jordan took this league to the next level. So I think from this point on,
he was timeless.
that's one of the better ones.
DMAC and Reiter. Congrats to Jennifer in Lakewood. You won 4 tickets earlier in the show to Dodgers Night at the LA Sparks versus Atlanta Dream on August 20th. The first 12,500 fans will receive a free Sparks and Dodgers co-branded jersey. Get tickets now at lasparks.com. That's lasparks.com. Will the Lakers sale have any impact on the Dodgers going forward? One of the most important voices in Dodgers world has an answer, and we'll give it to you next on DMAC and Reiter. All right, welcome back into the show. Walter's gone and the music's gone. When the music stops, Walter leaves. Walter sells the Lakers. DMAC and Reiter presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. I'm going to give you this news on the Dodgers on sort of how, their view of this sale, because Mark Walter, for the moment, owns both. Can I pitch you on a surprise segment? So
yes, I want to hear this. I love surprises.
5 o'clock.
5.
What if we do a Lakers sale version of LA Sports Stock Exchange?
Yes.
And I'll just give you a bunch. We'll just go through it.
I'm here for it.
All right.
I want to do it.
What if I get really loose in it?
Yeah, that's can't get much more loose than you already are, dude.
You're about to find out.
You're getting goosey.
DMAC and Reiter. So we are worried. We have discussed. There have been conversations and will continue to be conversations about how, if this Mark Walter selling the Lakers news impacts the Dodgers. And the concerns out there that we all have that this doesn't feel right. In fact, Bill Plaschke at the LA Times just dropped his column, and it's very similar to the vibe we have, right? Something's wrong here. And there are worries that whatever's wrong could bleed over to the Dodgers. Here is what Stan Kasten has said. Obviously, Kasten is the president of the Dodgers, longtime team president, said Mark Walter's decision to sell the Lakers is, quote, is a Lakers story and will have no impact on how the Dodgers do business going forward. Quote, this is a Lakers story. It's not really a Dodger story. It really has nothing to do with the Dodgers. It's completely separate. There are no changes here or being contemplated here. That certainly reflects the reporting that that nothing's going to change in terms of an ownership situation for Mark Walter. I will say that I believe it, but I don't believe it as much as I would have 24 hours ago.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I think that everything's happened so fast, so quickly, so abruptly that I think it's fair just to question everything that's in front of us, even if that does mean a Dodgers organization that is as healthy as any organization in professional sports. When it comes to profit, when it comes to revenue, they're the first major league team to make over $1 billion in revenue last year. And I think a lot of that has to do with the existence of Shohei Ohtani, and that's where my mind originally went. That's what popped into my head right away was, what does this mean for the Los Angeles Dodgers? And then what does this mean for Shohei Ohtani? Because Shohei Ohtani, in his contract, has that key man clause where if Mark Walter is gone, he can leave. If Andrew Friedman is gone, he can leave. So the last thing you would ever want would be a doomsday scenario that if something happened dramatically, whether it be legally or whatever it may be, where Mark Walter is not a part of this ownership group, what that could mean for Shohei Ohtani. I don't think he would leave. Why would he do that? But that's kind of where my mind first went. So I think as far as where the Dodgers are at as a whole, they're still ascending. I think that you could maybe make the case they're at their apex right now, but they could still keep going. I mean, this dynasty really has no end in sight. Only thing really that's going to get in the way with more championships and more revenue could be a potential lockout that we'll see after this season. So I didn't think that this would necessarily lead to anything dramatic or shocking when it comes to the Dodgers. But to hear Stan Kasten say that, it kind of gives you some confidence.
It doesn't give me any confidence. And I don't believe people when they, I think you're right. If I had to sort of put money down, I'm with you. Until the questions about why Mark Walter sold the Lakers are answered, the concerns about the Dodgers don't go away for me. They're minor, they're small. I think it feels very unlikely whatever problems led to the sale of the Lakers by Walter leads to any kind of changes or a sale of the Dodgers. But I don't know. I mean, I really would like, and Pablo Torre just tweeted out that basically, like, you know how he does his he does a GIF where it's like, I'm on this. I need Pablo Torre's amazing and busy. I would love to. I would consume his show, his investigative report about why Walter sold the moment it came out.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. I mean, just the fact that you have to publish articles and ask these questions about the Dodgers, then why is it a story? So what you're pointing out is it's a story, right?
I think it's a story, yeah.
Exactly. So that's the thing. I mean, I think that we are to the point where it is an actual story until we find out why. And I think that, look, for me, my confidence in the Dodgers is just because there's such an enterprise, there's such an entity with the foundation in place to, if anything were to happen, it feels like the front office, it's not like you would want to kick the doors down.
That's fair.
And change the front office for the Dodgers, right? Even if they did change hands ownership-wise, if you had to shock sell the Dodgers, would a new owner come and be like, hey, Andrew Friedman, get out of here.
You are purchasing Friedman.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, and I'd forgotten this, Bursch reminded me of this. And again, there's no report that Mark Walters is selling the Dodgers. In fact, the reporting is the opposite, and Stan Kasten has said business as usual. We are simply catastrophizing, worrying, talking about if there are financial concerns connected to this federal investigation and the allegations of tax fraud against Mark Walter that would lead to needing to generate even more revenue, and that led to a potential Dodger sale. Right, that's not what's happening, but let's just say like we got to that point. Ohtani does have a clause in his contract where he can opt out, not just if Friedman goes, but if Walter sells.
The key man clause, right? That's what it is. So, yeah, that's certainly something to consider there as well. I will say this, too. And I want to say that I agree with your point in that until we know all the information, until we know exactly why he decided to sell the Lakers, we're not going to completely think the Dodgers are going to be left out of this. I'm confident that they won't, just because I think they're already a model franchise, a turnkey franchise where if he did sell them, there wouldn't be a lot of dramatic change. But I'll pose this to you. What if...
Riddle me that.
What if you get your dream, you get your wish, and that is we get a salary cap in baseball, which... Jeff Passan says 0%
oh my God,
chance.
Stop misrepresenting my perspective. My dream is a salary floor.
Which you can't have. Okay, I won't go down that road.
No, I'm going to go down it because you just misrepresented my view.
All right.
Here on DMAC and Reiter, which you like to do, and I've never done, except the other times I did it many times like you. I want a salary floor. I will accept a salary cap as part of that. It would almost certainly go hand in hand, right? But don't say I want a salary cap. That's not what I'm asking for. It's not what I want.
Breaking news. Okay, so point I'm trying to make, though, is let's see if we do get some dramatic changes after the CBA. If there is some type of either a luxury tax on a salary floor, if you have different ways to penalize repeat offenders when it comes to going past the highest threshold when it comes to spending. What if, though, the owners are hell-bent into getting that salary cap to the point where you're ready to miss a season just like the NHL did?
They might be.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't underestimate greed.
And let's say that transpires. Let's say that materializes and all those franchise values go up and it's not as easy to win in Major League Baseball just because I think the Dodgers roster, of course, the salaries, they would get grandfathered in, so you'd still be in a good spot for the next 4 or 5 years.
Their championships?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they could get a little more complicated 10 to 15 years from now, and you would have to rely a little more on decisions that you make for certain players, and you can't have that depth to cover it up. So what if Mark Walter, after that, decides to sell the Dodgers like he did the Lakers because of a potential salary cap?
Well, first of all, I believe in the Dodgers.
I do too.
See it there?
There you go.
That's a strongman argument. Here against DMAC and Reiter.
Play the sound.
No, it's the thing is, you don't want to fall into conspiracy thinking. You don't want to fall into sort of catastrophizing. But you and I have operated in this world long enough and covered some of these things enough. I certainly have outside of sports too. Dominoes do have impacts, and these sorts of moments, the things we can see, the sale, the things we can't see, why there are ripple effects that can have huge consequences for things like the Dodgers. We just don't know. It is really, really disconcerting. You know what it feels like? It's probably a terrible analogy because it's so serious, but I had this once, so I'll use it. It's like I once had a doctor tell me I probably had cancer, but they weren't sure, and it turned out it wasn't. But that was a horrific few days. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you probably, maybe not. You could be. I was like, bro, what do you like? How about a bedside manner? Worry is worry until it's alleviated. Whatever the sort of, whether it's rational or not. Once that worry is put into your life, it's a real thing. For me, at least. I'm worried about the Dodgers. It's probably irrational, but I'd sure like to have some answers so I can stop worrying about the Dodgers.
That's fair. That really is. I mean, the fact that their owner, one of the biggest owners in sports, just sold a team in a deal that is reported to take just 3 days to get done. It happened so quickly. It's a lot of questions we still need answers to until we can move forward with how confident we feel about the Dodgers overall.
You give me a look when you think you've got me, and I find it very amusing. When you're like, you want a salary cap. Or when you're doing me wrong. I like it. Don't back off the way you did Scooble yesterday.
I didn't back off.
Oh, my worry level's a 0.
I said 1. You said it was a 4.
My worry level's a 0.
You said it was a 4.
Hey, Bill, let's do
as a pitcher.
Hey, Bill, it's Doug. Let's do Let's do worry levels. Okay, what's your worry level? What a dumb question. My worry level's 0.
I
Classic DMAC.
I said 1 as a pitcher. That's where I'm at. I still think.
I understand. You're right.
Yeah, multiple things can be true. I can be upset about
By the way,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, is it?
What are you upset about?
No. Okay, go on.
I need Tarek Skubal to look at Blake Snell. That's how you're supposed to pitch.
Oh.
That's what that's supposed to look like. It's called passion.
Yeah.
It's called giving a you-know-what.
Snellzilla!
10. Worry level 10. Just kidding. All right. DMAC and Reiter, we did this the other day. We're going to play Stock Exchange with the latest Lakers news. So basically, we're going to go through a bunch of figures impacted by this news and tell you how much their stock has gone up or down in the last really 12 hours. It's a fun segment. It's next here on DMAC and Reiter. Final hour of the program on the day that the Lakers were sold again. It's DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That's calldowntown.com. I am watching some good TV.
Are you?
Yeah.
What you watching?
I'm watching Lucky, which is very dark on Apple TV. Plus, it's got the actress who was in The Queen's Gambit and Timothy Oliphant.
Ooh.
And then I was watching Ted Lasso.
So are they doing just one episode at a time?
Yeah.
On those?
It's kind of the yin and the yang. It's like it's the happiness and the joy. I thought, okay, there's some balance in my life. And I woke up today to the Lakers news, and it was just all like darkness again.
Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The Graduate.
The Lakers have sold again. Yeah. Okay, we're going to... I can't keep track of what the hell we have and what we don't have. We don't have any... We do not have an open for the LA Stock Exchange, do we? We barely know how this concept works. What would we have? All right, here's the deal. We did this. Did we do this 2 days ago?
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did Monday.
Did we have a bet for this? I can't remember if we do a bet. So
bet is music underneath
look at you.
sports radio segments.
Right, we're not saying that we have a place to go sleep during the segment.
Ooh.
Oh, Bursch. We're going to go through some different sports figures, and we're going to tell you whether their stock price has gone up or down since this morning, since the market opened this morning, and whether we buy or sell the stock. Let's start with the first one. This is in response to the Lakers and Mark Walter selling the Lakers for $12.5 billion valuation to Josh Kushner and former Disney CEO Bob Iger. Okay, Rob Pelinka.
Selling. I'm selling just because I think that the roster he's put together has been impressive, but ultimately, new ownership groups, they want their own guys. So I think that it's only a matter of time for him.
Okay, I hope you're right. I would like him to go away. I'm actually going to buy some Pelinka stock while it's low because I think this guy's main skill is the schmooze, right? It's not the basketball. It's the, hey, I'm Rob Pelinka. Here's my story. And if Kushner is more interested in sort of optics and money than success, Pelinka is the kind of guy that could manage him well. All right. Mark Walter.
I'm going to hold until we get more information about why exactly he decided to sell the Lakers. It's a low hold, but it's a hold.
Okay. I'm going to unload like 25 or 30% of my stock. I'm just going to hedge against this being an absolute disaster. We don't have any information to suggest that everything is dire for Mark Walter, that the sky is falling for him. But if the sky were falling for Mark Walter, this is the first thing that would happen. Is he would sell the Dodgers. Dude, he sold the Dodgers on 3 days' notice.
Yeah, I don't like.
That's a giant.
There's something
alarm.
up. There's something about this. This reeks.
I mean, it is very worrisome. Okay. I have two versions of this. Let me just start with this. Luka Doncic.
I'm going to buy it. I think that Luka still has an ownership group that they know they have to put a win around their superstar. I think Luka Doncic is hopefully going to use that as fuel. I like the tweet. I like that he put out the fact that he loves being a Laker and he said all that good stuff. So I think Luka Doncic is going to be the MVP of the NBA this year. Doesn't matter who's owning the team. So I'm still buying. I'm
going to hold on the Luka stock. I'm just going to hold on it. Luka's Lakers future, stock price up or down since this morning?
I'm going to say down. I'm going to say down.
It's down too.
I'm going to say down just because we have not seen what this ownership group is all about. They haven't proven anything. To me, they start with an F. You have to earn your way to an A. And if Luka Doncic can't win a championship here, or at least see the path to a championship here over the next 2 seasons, he's got to win one. So I think he'll look elsewhere and find a new team in a couple years if they can't put a winner around him.
I'm with you. I agree. Lakers win total this upcoming season. Conventional wisdom would tell you it's just a hold, right? Because does it in... But
I mean, if they're going to use if they're going to spend and they're going to use that money for Kuminga, and they're going to be aggressive and try to do at least one more thing to improve this roster, I'm going to say buy. I'll buy.
Yeah, so who makes that decision? I guess, like...
It'd be tough to say. I mean, and how quickly, how well versed will they be into it too? So yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I'm gonna hold on this. I'm gonna read you some news from Jack Harris. I think I saw him at a bar once.
You did.
I think I saw Jack at a bar.
Yeah.
Did he send me a drink?
You see, like, every time you go to a bar, there's a Dodgers-related
There
person
is.
there. Tyler Glass now, Jack Harris.
Every time.
Every time.
Doug McCain.
I was there.
Because you're invited.
Let's go.
Okay. I'm going to read you some news from Jack Harris, and I'm going to ask you the question here, okay? Jack Harris asked Stan Kasten specifically if, amid the SEC investigation and the unexpected sin of the Lakers, the resources available to the Dodgers from Mark Walter, his Guggenheim ownership group, could be impacted going forward. Kasten's answer was, quote, I have no reason to think that. Not no.
Wow. No reason to think that.
I have no reason to think that.
That's a really interesting qualifier.
Based on that qualifier, what is the current stock price compared to this morning of Andrew Friedman's comfort level?
I'm still buying.
Okay.
I'm still buying because I think his legacy is cemented, and I don't think he wants to go anywhere else to try to improve his legacy as far as winning World Series titles. His family's here, Pasadena, Dodger Stadium, great life, future Hall of Famer. I still feel like
He lives
he's a
in
blue
Pasadena?
chip. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well.
Do you been to his house?
That's just a thing. All right.
Whoa. DMAC and
626.
Ryder. Oh, no. DMAC and Ryder, new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. I am going to go his comfort levels a little bit down. Like slight dip in the price, 3% stock price gone down today. I think Andrew Friedman has to be like the rest of us, a little disconcerted. I can't imagine Andrew Friedman has unequivocal, absolute insight into the legal or political realities of Mark Walter's life right now. So I think there just might be a little discomfort. Stock price here on DMAC and Ryder of LeBron superfans.
Ooh. Gonna say down.
Okay.
I'm going to say
agree.
down.
One of those works.
Yeah, down. I'm going down. Down for LeBron's
intro.
fans. Just because, guess what? LeBron James wasn't the reason why the Lakers were valued at $10 billion or sold for $12.5 billion. And that LeBron James, guess what? Wasn't even going to be here for most of those years anyway. So, yeah, I think that their fans are probably happy. His fans are probably happy that he's in a better situation for a better roster on the East. But still, look, I'm going to say down because guess what? A lot of them were trying to flex like he was the reason why the Lakers were valued where they were.
That is such a great answer here on DMAC and Ryder of the stock price of LeBron James superfans, one of whom works here on this station. Intern.
You.
Yes, me as well. There's two of us. I forgot about me. That's such a good answer. I may hire you to be my new financial advisor on LA stock prices. LA sports stock prices.
I'm doing it.
I'm proud of you. But I'm always proud of you.
Yeah. Would you wear a shirt saying I don't hate LeBron? That'd be kind of a funny shirt.
I would.
That'd be a funny shirt. Just like white text on a black shirt. I don't hate LeBron. Bill Reiter.
Our boss Andrew texted me today, I believe today. Were you on there?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You hate LeBron.
Yeah.
He said you don't like LeBron.
You never beat those allegations.
And I wrote back, you're right. And then I waited and I wrote, I love him. I don't love him either. I do. I'm never going to beat those. But here's the thing. Like when LeBron really liked me, everyone's like, you're such a LeBron ass kisser. That wasn't true either. As it turned out.
Yeah. Exactly, right?
Yeah. Okay. Genie Bus, stock price. I'm going to go first on this. Crashing. And I'm selling it. I'm unloading it. It's going faster than a DMAC back pedal.
The Theranos stock, right? The crazy product
That
with
was
the lady.
wild, dude.
Yeah, so going Theranos.
Yeah.
I'll
What
say,
a poll.
I'll
Can we give him a cheer?
I could see her wearing with the black turtleneck,
Yeah.
right? I could. So I was.
She wasn't Steve Jobs. She was Steve Robs.
Whoa! Hey!
Whoa!
I would say this for Genie Bus, and I'll just go the different directions since I'll say a different answer. I'll say I'm buying it as far as the fact that she, I think, probably becomes a sympathetic figure in a lot of this Lakers stuff because I think people start to become a little nostalgic for the Bus era and what that meant. If this ownership continues to feel soulless and it continues to feel like it's just about the portfolio, not the parades and things like that. So I do think that her role for this team, it was inevitable that she was going to be gone from the Lakers at some point, but I'll say bye.
Yeah, I think it's crashing. I think that if things go badly, she's gonna. So good. She's gonna get blamed for it. It's really funny. Rohan Ramadas, who is the rocket scientist guy, who is he just got hired to be an assistant GM of analytics and drafts or something for the Lakers. I don't know this, but it's possible he hasn't even unpacked his things yet.
Yeah, hopefully he's renting a house.
He
Right?
was
Hopefully he'll buy.
hired by the Friedman Group.
Yeah. I'm going to say sell. I'm going to say sell. I just think ultimately,
Have
unless...
they delisted him from the stock exchange? Is he still an LA story?
Is he? That's a good
I
question.
hope so. That's brutal, dude.
That's rough. I mean, but you would hope, though, they have an open mind. You would hope they have an open mind and they feel like he's one of the biggest, brightest minds. And if I'm the new ownership... Well, I mean, he's a rocket scientist,
okay,
right?
he is.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
He's a rocket
My
surgeon.
worry level is like yours on Scooble. It's 1.
Wow, you're really pissed about that.
Not pissed.
All right, so 50. Is that what you want?
Doug.
So I'm going to sell that.
Okay, here's one. Lakers ticket prices over a 3-year timeline. Private equity.
It's private equity. They kind of have some pressure on them considering the ticket prices went up. I'm going to have to sell too. And I think they're going to sell a lot of tickets because I think that it's the Lakers and they have a good product. But it'll be interesting to see if that, because when the Guggenheim Group bought the Dodgers, it was, hey, we are going to spend and we're going to add some players to the roster that this roster wasn't used to having. What will this new ownership group's way of being, hey, we're here now. We're here for the fans, because they really can't do too much of the roster. Would they potentially lower ticket prices? Because I think they need to do that. I think that's something.
It's private equity.
It's private equity. It's
whatever
it's
the price is that you currently pay for tickets, multiply it by 10 and buckle
That's
up.
what they do.
They do.
Yep.
Yeah.
My wife works in private equity.
Your wife works in private.
Yeah.
Gene.
Yeah. So, I'm interested to get her thoughts on this. But yeah, that's what they do. They want to maximize profits, and I think for the Lakers, if the team's good, they're going to try to squeeze every single dollar out of the purple and gold.
Okay. The Vegas expansion price. So that price is $7 to $10 billion. The group that just bought the Lakers were in the mix to buy the Vegas expansion team. Do you think it's? I mean, price up or down? Does this impact the market at all for the Vegas expansion fee?
It's climbing up. It's got to go up. I'm buying the price going up.
You are
Not for the Vegas one, as far as just the bidding war goes. It makes sense. It has to go up. But you said $7 to $10 billion.
Was the sort of initial.
Vegas is a
range.
weird market just because it's not a big market
It's not.
as far as population goes.
Yeah.
But you
Why do you hate
use
Vegas?
I love Vegas. Some guys just can't handle Vegas. But it's got to go up. I mean, I think it'll sit around 7. It's got to be probably 9 to 10 billion.
Longest you've ever spent in Vegas consecutively?
4 days.
8.
8 days in Vegas and you're still alive?
Bachelor party.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still remember falling asleep at wet.
I had a different name, different life though. A different person now.
That's
Same
wild.
person. LeBron James' goal hopes to own the Vegas expansion team, which, by the way, just FYI, he had been in the mix for a long time, and then when basically this group was getting it done, he pulled out. Is there any world where you think LeBron is like, you know what? I want back in on owning the Vegas team?
Well, as a principal owner, that's not going to happen. But
No, I think it'd be more like what he did with the Fenway Group in Liverpool, where he would get a huge chunk just for being LeBron James.
I will say this about LeBron. He gets what he wants. He usually achieves his goals one way or the other. He's ruthless. He's calculated. I'm going to say buy.
That's why I like the guy.
Yeah, that's why. You love him.
That's why I love the guy. I don't mind mercenaries.
I didn't see. Oh, yeah.
You know?
The mercenary man.
Yeah.
Love that pause.
You do love the... Lori loves the pause I do to you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm taking in the insight.
Yeah, I see that.
Anybody else, Bursch or Mr. McCain, that I forgot in sort of in connection to this deal? Actually, here's one. Lakers fandom.
I was just about to say Lakers fans. Yeah.
I mean, people are arguing with each other about politics in our chat the entire time. There's no politics here. Then why are you talking about it? And by the way, it's great. Jack, talk about whatever you want. We love you guys are here at the Fan LA on YouTube.
I got to say hold. We have to see what this ownership group is all about. We need that initial press conference. Want to see what their message is. Got to see what happened with the fallout of Mark Walters selling this team. So I think it's a hold just because, look, somehow, some way, things end up happening for the Los Angeles Lakers where they win in the end. The Lakers always find a way to win in the end. They usually don't go a decade without some form of a championship. So I think the basketball gods will smile down on the Lakers and their fans at some point just because that feels like it's what's always happened. But it is TBD, man. We have to see what this ownership group is about.
I almost got real loose with this. Just cross this off. Who would you like? Anyone else I'm forgetting?
Magic Johnson's tweets.
I sold that stock a long time ago. It is a penny stock still.
It's a penny stock?
Yes. Sometimes I just don't trade it. It's hard to find. You have to find a very specific broker. Do you think Magic knows how bad he is at that?
I think he has a pretty good idea.
You think people have told him?
I mean, you know, that's a good question.
Hey, dude, like...
Probably got a lot of the sycophants around him.
Yeah.
Probably people wanting to tell him what it's... The question is it even him doing it?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Because if you're paying someone for that, you're being stolen. Someone's stealing from you.
You definitely are.
You know what I'm saying?
Who else can we go with, though? Crypto.com Arena? Buying and selling?
You made a really interesting point earlier. I will probably... You know what? I'm going to sell the stock, not because I think it's likely to be impacted, but if your theory is right, that eventually this could lead to a new arena, that significantly reduces the value of crypto. That's how you get bankrupted.
Yeah.
What if crypto is the typewriter business in 1982?
What if they're... Yeah, exactly. They're a BlackBerry living in an iPhone world, right?
Here's one. The Los Angeles Clippers.
Ooh. I'm selling. I'm never buying anything the Clippers are selling, right? I think they're...
I'll buy some of that stuff.
You're going to buy it?
You know, I'm not going to buy it because I don't...
Under what pretense, though?
I've had some bad experiences with them, but I think the stock's going to go up. I think there's a chance if things go badly for the Lakers, some fans can move over to being Clippers fans. If the
you think there's going to be converts?
I think the politics thing is so divisive in this country. There's certainly a world where if that becomes a thing, and I think on a much longer timeline, there's just no... What if these guys come in and they're... Look, man, when Ishbia and the guy in Portland took over the Trailblazers, everybody was excited. The guy in Portland is basically cutting costs and trying to move Portland, sounds like, the Trailblazers somewhere else, and Ishbia is one of the worst owners in the history of sports. It's like you just don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Clippers,
right?
And that you just don't know. You really don't, especially the NBA, right? They have to find a way to draft that superstar that's going to carry them to new heights. The arena's nice, Ballmer's rich, but it's the Clippers. Just when you think it's low, it's going to be a new low. It's the Clippers.
Bob Iger's reputation. Because that guy is like a revered business person.
He is.
He's a, what it's like.
I think he's 75.
Is he 75?
I think I looked up today.
He is in that sort of echelon of revered CEOs, captains of industry, leaders of men, and rich guys.
CEOs. Yeah, I mean, look.
I thought you were going to swear there.
No. I mean,
Merch didn't even move. He's so just like...
This could be... It is going to be interesting to see what that looks like, that relationship looks like. Like you said, he's not the principal owner, but he's the guy... People know his name. Like, he's an established name, really a legend in his own industry. Will he be at games? Will they show him on camera? Will he be doing interviews? How will that work out? I'm buying that part of it. I mean, he's lived in L.A. for a long time. I think he lives in Brentwood. For some reason, I'm giving all these executives where they live.
You've got a lot of... Didn't you used to do tours?
Yeah, I'm basically doing it on the show.
Did you ever do like, all right, there's Sylvester Stallone's house?
I'd be like, no, there's where Brad Pitt's dentist lives.
Have you ever done or been on one of those tours?
Yeah.
Which one?
The TMZ one.
No, have you done them?
Yeah.
You're the host.
Yeah, I've done it once.
You're the guy.
I have, yeah, it's hilarious.
Can you like honk your horn to get them to come out like animals, like at a zoo?
Keanu Reeves' house, you could. Yeah.
I heard, dude, I met him. I've told this earlier.
Yeah.
Like, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's super cool.
He would come out and wave?
Lives up in the Bird Streets. You seen John Wick?
Yeah, I've seen John Wick.
Yeah, so his house was the house from John Wick. So sometimes
it's not.
It is. So he would come out and act like John Wick. It'd be hilarious.
You're making this up.
I'm not.
The one that gets blown up?
Yeah, the Bird Streets. It's on, I think, Blue Jay Way.
Don't
oh, my goodness, what do I do?
Don't tell people where he lives. Don't tell people where he lives.
Yeah, no, I mean, a rocking bird.
You can't tell people where
this information.
Keanu Reeves lives. I have nothing.
Neo from the Matrix.
Doug McCain stock. I'm selling it all. It is tumbling in price. Hey, will you take me to Keanu Reeves' house, though?
You want to go?
I really do, yeah.
Keanu, what's up?
What's up, bro?
No, he was awesome, dude. You see him on his motorcycle?
No, I've never seen him in his motorcycle. I've seen him at LAX.
You got to, yeah. Oh, really?
But now I know where he lives because he just told everybody his address. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I used to play poker in a buddy's house in Brentwood, and he lived next to Travolta. Next to Travolta. And I would park in front of Travolta's house every time on purpose.
Really?
Just so just because
Yeah, why not?
Never saw him.
Dude.
I wanted, if I saw him, I'd be like, what's up? Did you staying alive?
Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it.
All right.
Sandy. That's my Grease John Travolta impression.
I was going to ask why we're getting so loose because you're close to vacation and I'm me.
Oh, no.
That's where we are.
This is my vacation, man.
It is?
Paradise, Los Angeles, doing a show with Bill Reiter.
Then stay
Can't get
next-
any better than this.
Then stay next week.
The idea of vacations, you want to go somewhere like better than
Right.
where you are. Do something better. But this is every Christmas.
Then be here next week.
Okay, I'm canceling.
Gene, I'm just kidding. All right, we haven't talked any Dodgers yet. Blake Snell looked amazing, and there's a game tonight. So we're going to preview tonight's Dodgers game, and we're going to get to that Blake Snell start. A little positivity after this bummer of a Lakers day next on DMAC and Reiter. All right, welcome back into the show. DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA Sports. Accident or injury, text injury help to 40222. That's 40222. Dave Roberts, pregame before tonight's, 7-10 first pitch, I think, against the Royals? Going for that third consecutive win. Your win streak thing came true.
I know. And some of my friends were like, wait, Bill doesn't like Major League 2?
I haven't seen Major League 2.
You said, you're like, it sounds so stupid.
I heard it was bad, and I didn't want to ruin the first one.
It's not as good as the first one. First one's
here's the thing.
The best baseball movie ever.
I'm emotionally scarred, Doug's friends, by Godfather 3. I don't want to repeat that experience.
You don't?
No.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? Do you think on a 1 to 10 scale, Major League 2 is what? If Major League 1 is a 10, Major League 2 is what?
6.5.
I was going to say it'd be 6.5 or higher for me to watch. All right, I'll watch it, maybe. You know what? Talk to me.
No, yeah. You got Lou Brown, you got Wesley Snipes. It's not the classic that Major League 1 is.
Is Charlie Sheen in there?
Charlie Sheen is in there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So I like crazy baseball movies. Have you seen the Air Bud, the 7th inning fetch?
That is stupid. I haven't seen it.
It's a great watch.
It's not.
It's fun.
There's no chance it is.
There's something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is Tarek Skubal in that?
He's not.
Is he a hero?
Is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was. Dave Roberts, by the way, combining sort of Dodgers and Lakers and the Lakers sale. Dave was asked pregame today. Ooh. He was asked about Mark Walters selling the Lakers.
I was shocked, like I think everyone else was. So, yeah, I mean, that's above all of our pay grades. So, but I know that he was excited to take on the Lakers, and so, yeah, I was surprised at everyone.
Breaking news. No, it's good.
Dave Roberts is surprised. But you kind of hear in his voice, right, that this is a guy that definitely is a fan of the Lakers, a fan of basketball, is really in tune and is around all these guys a lot, the Mark Walters, the Andrew Friedman. So to hear the surprise in his voice, I think it is a little telling, for sure.
The Dodgers recalled Landon Knack and optioned Seth Halverson today, both right-handed pitchers. Dave Roberts said the next progression for Shohei Ohtani will be throwing off the mound. He got up to 200 feet on flat ground, and then they did dry throws on the mound. Ohtani's rehab starts will be at the MLB level, which you've talked about would be the case, like last year. Ohtani will have to throw a few bullpens and a live session before pitching in an MLB game for an inning, and also Katie Woo, who we really like. Are we going to have her on the show this week?
We could, yeah. Let's reach out to Katie Woo.
Or it could be next week.
Yeah.
Reported this morning that Tyler Glasnow's next rehab is Friday. The aim is 4 innings pitched to 60 pitches, sort of that range, and he's nearing, like Blake Snell, coming off the IL. Speaking of Blake Snell, that dude was cooking yesterday, man.
He really was. He looked outstanding on the mound. He looked dominant. He also looked like a guy that could have pitched a month ago, right? A guy that looked like that they were cautious because they're saving him for this stretch run, end of the postseason, and for a guy that had talked about not being able to have the feel for the ball. He's not even just talking about just the overall feel for the pitch. Like he said, he couldn't feel his hand.
Which is, you could see it, too.
Yeah, you could see it. And the effect is that curveball, right? Just absolutely.
I'm left-handed.
Uncle Charlie, that 12-6.
So Blake Snell and I are like the same.
You are, yeah.
Do you think Tarek Skubal took notes?
I think that he watched very attentively. I think you saw in the dugout a lot of those guys kind of chopping it up, and
they were like,
it was
"You're
crazy
back,
to see all
baby."
those dudes in the, and it was cool to see.
cool.
Kike was wearing a T-shirt yesterday that had all the aces on the front. It had Skubal and Glasnow and Shohei and Yamamoto and Snell.
I want that shirt.
Yeah, but it was cool because he made his custom where he wrote with tape, wrote Blesky on the bottom.
Yeah.
So Kike's that guy.
I don't need that part.
You don't know that part?
No, here, DMAC and Reiter. You're not even
No
the fan, the
Blesky.
voice of LA Sports. Do you want some mailbags?
Let's hit it.
Or do you want to do Dodgers?
Mailbag.
Choose your own adventure.
Choose my own adventure. Give me the fans, man.
At Drip Show Shop,
What up, Drip Show?
talking about the Lakers, let the corruption begin.
Ooh,
Okay, he's not happy.
The
He's not happy.
corruption.
Carlos V over on X at DMAC_LA at Sports Writer wrote, seems like it was a distressed sale, except he made a few billion. This tells me he's knee-deep in investigations and was probably forced to sell the Lakers. Christopher Valesco, I am loving this as a 23-year-old Clippers fan, the downfall of the Los Angeles Lakers and the rise of the Los Angeles Clippers. That's the thing, dude, is like I checked in on the 4 or 5 Clippers fans out there.
I was about to say, is that James Goes Burner?
Should we ask James?
Yeah.
Is James going to do just like
They make those?
Is he going to come in with a celebratory show?
He might be.
We did it.
Hang a banner if you're the Clippers, right?
Hang up like the day the Lakers
Yeah,
fell.
the day the Lakers sold.
NBA old fart. I'm late to this stream, but am I the only one that doesn't see this from a doom and gloom lens? I still believe the power of the Lakers brand and taking a wait and see approach, hoping we'll look back on this day as a mere blip on the radar after celebrating another title in 2030. By the way, totally possible. I hope so.
I hope so, too. I mean, I think if you're a Lakers fan, it's, hey, don't tell me how much this franchise is worth. Tell me how you can make this franchise better, and you can make a championship roster, and you can put that together. Their optimism, I think it's premature, though. We really, to blindly trust a new ownership group after the one you just had that was supposed to be the dream ownership group sold you in less than a year, that should give you concern. That should make you reluctant just to give your blind faith away to an ownership group that hasn't proven anything.
Grizzly.
What up, Grizzly?
Says, it was a good run, Lakers fans. At least we have the Dodgers. People are down.
Ouch. Yeah, people are down. Understandably so, right? Understandably so.
I bring up Bill Plaschke a lot because I think he's outstandingly talented columnist for the LA Times, and he's a legend here, right? He knows this city. His entire column today, his whole vibe is what we've been talking about. This is so worrisome, and it's not because we know that the new ownership group is going to be bad. It's because we knew that the old ownership group was going to be extraordinary. That it's a loss. We don't know what we've gained, but we know what we've lost.
We don't. There's just no familiarity there. And that's the thing. That's why this feels so backwards, right? The franchise, you get a billionaire, a $12.5 billion sale where he gets $2.5 billion or whatever it may be, whatever it ends up being. The fans don't get a championship. They don't get a parade. They don't even get the continuity that, as you point out, we were hoping to get. It was the stability and the continuity, and now it almost feels like we're back at square one, and you still have a lot to prove with this group.
DD01880. So
Did I say that?
you did. No, I liked it. Writes, who cares about the Lakers? Only Dodgers really matter. No salary cap, no CBA, CBT. Got tons of international sponsorship, global marketing. NFL and NBA don't have that. Can I bring it back to Dodgers for a moment for conspiracy theories?
Yeah.
Or magic or curses. You have kind of made fun of me this year. A little bit. Slightly. A little judgy. You've been a little judgy. You've been like, oh, ball knower. When I bring up that the person hitting the second spot for the Dodgers in the lineup just forgets to hit. It's been crazy. They put Freddie Freeman in the 2-hole yesterday for the first time in a long time. That dude went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and he looked like you at the plate.
Wow.
And you're
Why'd
right.
I catch a stray there?
You're right-handed.
Why'd I catch a stray? Exactly, right? Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean,
What is going on, man? It's crazy.
My grandma could hit better in the 2-hole, and she's dead.
Oh my
right?
God.
I mean,
I knew you were going to say that. Don't encourage him, Ryan. That's. Can you cut that?
Oh,
Just
no.
so I want to hear it again.
I'm just
I want to see
saying.
if I actually heard that.
Look, I'm just
So
saying.
you didn't just say that.
Okay, well, my point is that.
I'm sorry about your
My point is
grandmother.
that you could just basically
When did
skip
she? When
the
did
2.
she? When did she pass away?
You can basically just skip the 2-hole. She's basically skip the 2-hole and just go right to the 3 spot. It's. Look, I you know what though.
No,
I do owe
I
you an
don't.
apology. I have been calling you like you're making too much of this 2-hole thing. I don't have an answer for you, bro. I don't. No one can hit there all year. No one can be consistently productive batting second. So my only hope is Kyle Tucker there. But what'd you tell me his line was yesterday? Right? He didn't get a hit
Dude,
either.
Freddie Freeman. Yeah, that's right. Kyle Tucker also. I did the apology to Dave. Do I unapologize if Tucker
I think it might be
goes-
time for that. Yeah,
Goes 1 for his next
Yeah.
20 after getting benched.
probably should do that. Yeah.
Apologize too soon. Today's lineup, by the way, Eric Lauer is taking the mound. It's Shohei Ohtani, Andy Pajes. They got Pajes in the 2 spot, by the way.
Doomed.
Freddie Freeman 3, Kyle Tucker a cleanup, Mookie Betts 5, Max Muncy 6, Teo 7, Fiducia 8, Miggy Rojas 9. That team's gonna score 1 run. That's a 1 run. That's a 1 run. And Daniel Lynch, who's the guy for the Royals, actually can pitch. Do you have it? No. Okay.
Yeah, Walker was good yesterday too, right? I mean, he was neutralizing this
Yeah.
Dodgers offense for long stretches. And
Yeah.
this series was a great walk-off win yesterday. I thought you had some really good moments, but they have been scratching and clawing just to be a last-place team. It's not like they're playing great baseball again. The bright spot yesterday, Seth Halverson, I hate to see him being sent down.
Yeah.
Landon Knack comes up.
He's got a knack for landing on his feet.
Return of the Knack. But
we literally did this earlier, and that's why you don't do the show before the show. We both judged the other thing. I heard that 5 hours ago. Loser.
There you go. Case in point. Lesson learned. But look, the brightest spot yesterday you brought up was Blake Snell. And tonight, though, what you did.
What did I do? Say it again.
Is you brought up that, look, you were talking about how nasty Blake Snell was. And you kind of used it to take a little shot at Tarek Skubal. But
Did I?
I mean, you kind of said, was he watching? Was he looking at how good he looked?
That's what it's supposed to look like.
I will say that's how a multi-time Cy Young Award-winning lefty should look out on the mound, and it should get you very, very excited about it. So we'll see. I think you point out the fact that I point out that Shohei and Kyle Tucker have the same amount of home runs since the All-Star break, saying that I was hating on Shohei.
You just did what you always do, but you try to correct yourself. You constantly, when you want to make a point but don't want me to argue with you, you're like, you said the other day, and then you'll make your own point.
No, that's not
It's
true.
crazy,
That's not
dude.
true. I have a log of it.
You're like, you made a great point the other day when you said the concern level on Tarek Skubal's a 1. I'm like, that wasn't me, man.
You mean to tell me you did not think that Blake Snell had a good start?
I thought he had an exceptional start. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to the Kyle Tucker, Shohei Ohtani home run stat.
Oh, that one, okay.
Not something I ever brought up. We can play that back, too.
Okay, we can.
I want to get the drop of A Few Good Men, where he's like, I can have the court reporter read it back. I don't need it read back to me like I'm a child. I just want to play that whenever I'm threatening to play that.
Classic.
Classic DMAC and Reiter. I'm sorry, what were you saying about Halverson?
Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting roster move. I'm very curious to see what Landon Knack's role could possibly be. Obviously, if Landon Knack is someone that's going to be on your postseason roster, a lot of things went wrong. Seth Halverson is someone that he looked good yesterday, and he pitched a scoreless inning in his Dodgers debut. He had the ghost runner there in the 10th. Seth Halverson averaged 100.7 miles per hour on his fastball. He also hit 101.3 twice. So he's got a lot of velocity. He's got that heat that they look for in the postseason. So I'm sure this is going to be short. I think that they're going to give him another opportunity very soon.
Seth has it, my son.
What?
Terry H. Just paid $1.99 in the chat at the Fan LA to let us know Kyle Tucker is my hero. Sincerely, Manny Machado.
Wow.
That's a great. Would have read that. For
That's a
free,
good one,
but
baby.
Thank you. That's a great. That's an amazing. I just had a really awful thought.
What was it?
I just had a dark thought. What if?
There's a lot of those in there.
Because it's private equity. What if Kushner got the information because Bob Iger told the California Post, we found this out, we kind of tipped that he might be willing to sell. What if they actually think that this team is worth more than $12.5 billion? They had the cash from the falling apart FIFA deal, and their goal is actually to just sell it for $13 or $14 billion to somebody else in a year.
My goodness.
It's not impossible.
New landlord again. I mean, that'd be crazy. I mean,
all right,
I saw somewhere people were trying to push for the fact that, hey, maybe you should have a 5 or 10 year deal. If you got a new ownership group, they got to stay for 5 or 10 years. That's just not how that works. But it would be great in a perfect world that you couldn't just buy and sell. You can't flip franchise, man. You just can't do it.
Do you know what I want for the next owner?
What?
A stopwatch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. I was asked for that one.
What would the right owner look like in 2026 or 27 for a team like the Lakers? We'll get into that, and we'll reveal our DMAC and Reiter hero of the day. Next, you guessed it, on DMAC and Reiter. All right, welcome back into the show, DMAC and Reiter. This is the fastest show we've ever done, dude. Flew by.
Flew by, just like Mark Walter's ownership of the Lakers.
Yeah. Both went very quickly. The show, DMAC and Reiter, presented by DTLA Law Group on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports. Accident or injury, visit calldowntown.com. That is calldowntown.com. You can also text injury help to 40222. Dodgers get it going in about an hour and 10 or 15 minutes. We are going to come back tomorrow, assuming that Kushner hasn't sold the team to somebody else. Just kidding, they haven't closed on the team yet. And we're going to do a lot of Dodgers talk for you. And all of this Lakers talk, this entire day, all of this news. I know it's frustrating, I know it's difficult, but we want to keep it real, and we're not going to hide from what's going on. And it is a worrisome story. And all that basketball talk, by the way, that coverage on the new 97.1 The Fan, the voice of LA sports, is presented by Xfinity. Score the most reliable Wi-Fi, one price, 5 years guaranteed. Imagine that. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Yeah, when you lay it out like that, though, I mean, it feels like we're just getting started with all this, right? We're going to learn more in the next few days, weeks, months, but as you point out, what you were talking during the break is, will we ever know all of this stuff? We know Pablo Torre's on it, right?
Oh, dude.
So that's definitely something to be excited about.
I need the answer.
Yeah, we need the answer.
For the info.
Yeah.
Blake Snell, Joey and Jesse Buss, Max Muncy, Russell Westbrook, all nominated for the DMAC and Reiter.
Russ won.
Russ finished last.
The disrespect for an LA Hoops legend. Yeah. I hate it.
Russell Westbrook.
Oh,
because he's resting now.
Wow, ouch.
He had 13% of the vote.
That was like his field goal percentage with the Lakers.
The Buss, oh my God, dude. He'd be lucky to shoot that from 3-point.
On his best day.
Joey, he's a nice guy, though. Joey and Jesse Buss, third. Max Muncy with a walk-off second. Blake Snell, and that dominant return, 37%. Dude, he was so nasty, dude. He was so nasty, man.
He was fantastic. I mean, gave up 1 run on 3 hits, 10 strikeouts, 84 pitches to get through 6 innings. He was efficient.
6, dude. Yeah.
He was dominant. And I just think I'm so excited about what he's going to look like with that curveball, too. So I think the Dodgers, I'm not saying there's any foul play here, but I will say that he did look like a guy.
Foul play.
Foul play.
That would mean they murdered someone, wouldn't it?
I mean,
Isn't foul play always murder? No.
Is it?
I don't know.
No harm, no foul?
No, you're right. Foul play.
Wow, why do you go right to murder, bro?
Well, no, that's what it meant.
That's dark.
Wait, you keep going.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that
talk to me.
Snell looked like a guy.
Oh, no, you're right.
That they were strategically
unfair, dishonest, or criminal behavior. It most often describes a violent crime or murder.
Okay, so you're partially right. You're partially right there. But what I'm saying is that Blake Snell looked so good yesterday. And the fact that in his first start back after missing so much time, remember, he made just 1 start this season. For him to look that good, and we're in mid-August, he looked like a guy that could have
shelled, didn't he?
Yeah, that 1 start with the Laker game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You
don't remember? It was our first date. No, it was our second date. Right?
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're saying.
It was the second time.
It was our second
time we were out. Okay, so it was our second time we were out in public, not in the studio. How about that? That's fair.
Have we only hung out 2 times?
Okay,
Once at work?
This is what pisses me off. Literally yesterday, 2 days ago, we went to have dinner. We had nachos with Brock Vereen.
I forgot. That was an extension of work.
Okay, all right, that's fair. But I will say that Blake Snell looks like a guy who could have been back weeks or months ago. And the Dodgers, I think they've strategically have kept him out as long as possible to avoid injury, to make sure he's fresh and time it perfectly. It's still within what they needed to do just because, look, he's dealt with shoulder injuries and he had the nano needle surgery to get things right. So I think this all works out well for the Dodgers, and I think Tyler Glasnow is the next man up.
I have come up with a brand new segment. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's called Do You Care, LA? Just kidding. That's the midday show. That's the midday show. That's not mine. Sorry. Hold on.
All time loose.
That was mine. That was a mistake. I have a Would You Rather.
Would you rather?
Are you ready?
Yep.
I actually do this on my old show and my Substack, which
I was thinking of names for our segment for the Are We Right or Wrong? And all I think I could come up with was Nail It or Fail It. But that's not what we're going to do. Okay. It's not what we're going to do. Two lose.
So many jokes.
Okay.
Would you rather have Mark Walter as your owner of your NBA team or Steve Ballmer?
Ooh, man.
Wait, what was the thing you were saying? Nail it or what was it?
Nail it or fail it?
Nail it or fail
Nailed
it.
or
Steve
failed?
Ballmer.
Okay.
Nail it or fail it. Steve Ballmer.
Give me the guy who's actually won championships. Give me Mark Walter. I know that it's not a great day as far as the reputation goes. People are speculating a lot. There's a lot of people thinking there's conspiracy theories. Not a great day for Mark Walter, but the bottom line is he has proven to build an elite dynasty, a great franchise, a dynastic franchise. So give me the guy who's won championships, not the guy that hasn't.
Dynastic.
Number one.
Would you rather? Oh, wait, sorry. Again, that's the midday show.
Number one.
We don't have. Oh no, we're gonna get your grandma comment for tomorrow.
Oh no.
Do we need a series of just Doug drops? You say some crazy stuff.
What we need is the Ewok sound back.
We have that, unfortunately.
Slapped their fans in the face.
Wait, can I hear that again?
Slapped their fans in the face.
Well, God, that seems like 20 years ago.
Did Mark Walter do that to Lakers fans today?
Was that Milwaukee? Did he what?
Slapped their fans in the face.
He really did. Who slapped their fans in the face more, Milwaukee or Mark Walter?
I got to say Mark Walter.
Yeah, because Milwaukee didn't slap their fans in the face.
Oh, no, that was strategic.
Yeah, see what I did there?
I fell into that one. I fault myself.
I know the answer to this one.
I fell into that one.
Nail it or fail it.
I said it's a bad idea.
Nail it or fail, it's crazy.
It's not good.
You know who could never do that segment?
What?
A professor. Just because they're not a radio host.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you referencing?
I don't know.
Bursch looks super happy to be here.
Yeah.
Who's going to be more excited to be on vacation next week? You or Bursch? Bursch. 'Cause he's taking a month off.
Bursch.
Yep. I don't understand why they can't just pick one guy and put him in the 2-hole, by the way.
It's a great...
Paz played yesterday, right? Yeah.
And I think the thing with Pages that kind of bothersome to me is that...
Pick somebody.
Pick someone, and Andy Pages most likely isn't going to be the guy there in the postseason.
You want him to hit 9.
I want him to 8.
That's true.
Yeah, but it was close. I
actually thought it was 7. I was trying to exaggerate your position.
But look, I think ultimately you look at the lineup. We know Shohei's going to be locked into that leadoff spot. The 2-hole, though, is going to be the big question. I mean, Mookie, by the way, you haven't brought up Mookie Betts. You haven't brought up you're not going to call him Dookie Butts?
I don't call him Dookie Butts.
I know, but you don't call him that. But you do say that he's not good.
Mookie Frets.
Oh.
He hasn't been good.
Hey,
what do you mean I say he's not good?
I know.
I read his stats.
I know, but you have to admit, like even for myself, who's started to let some doubt creep in for Mookie, I was floored by his performance yesterday and how he looked. I mean, he looked great yesterday.
Classic you.
What do you mean? 3 for 4. 2 RBI.
Though I, too, keep it real. He was perfect, as I always knew he was. No, he was great. And by the way,
a home run, a double?
He turned on a ball a couple days ago, too. Like, he's swinging a better
Had the
bat.
4-hit game in Chicago?
Yeah. Great, I'm here for it.
We need to see some sustainability, right? I mean, you can't go 0 for 4 for the next 5 days. We need to see him continue to build on this. But I think
when it comes to Mookie, nail it or fail it?
I think
he's gonna nail it.
I need like a filter here. I gotta stop letting. Yeah, I think that he's going to nail it.
Is Empire Jeff TV one of your boys?
No.
DMAC is his comment.
What's up, my man? Empire Jeff TV.
Remember that one time the guy called in and said, "Did you get the money I Snapchatted you?"
And he corrected himself that he super chatted me. My wife asked about it, and yes, I'm not Snapchatting any dudes and not sending me money. No dudes are sending me money on Snapchat. It was super chat. That got weird pretty quick.
We got weird pretty quick. I feel like we like the rest of LA got slapped in the face today. We got what was it, Bursch? We got
slapped their fans in the face.
And we're just letting our hair down the last 3 minutes. It's just like an emotional reaction to sometimes you have to laugh.
Today was wild, man. Today was one of the most this has got to be like one of the top 5 craziest things so far from doing the show. I would say for sure.
So I've lived in this town doing sports since 2013. So I would, what is that? It's a long time, 13 years. I think it's a top 5 shot. You okay?
Trying to get in the frame.
I think it's what are you doing? I thought it was a top. I think it's a top, potentially like top 5 most shocking things that happened in sports.
Absolutely.
In Los Angeles.
Absolutely, for sure. And I think, too, we're just at the beginning of it, too. I think there's going to be so much more to unpack. I feel like we're going to be talking about this for weeks.
I mean, this is more surprising than
decades.
Myles Garrett being traded. This is more surprising than AD. It's just because it feels impossible. It's beyond implausible.
I think I would probably say the last shock factor was when the Dodgers were sold for $8.5 billion, right? I think the last ownership shock factor was because we thought maybe that team gets $3 billion and they will for $8.5 billion. So I'm with you, man. This is This was a shocker, man. This is an absolute shocker.
Empire Jeff TV, not your boy, he says, just a longtime supporter. Thank you for finding Doug. That is awesome. Every single weekday, 2 to 6, DMAC and Reiter. Just found us. Empire Jeff, subscribe in the chat. Subscribe on the YouTube. Thanks for chilling. Good luck, LA. We hope this works out. We are worried about the Lakers. We'll do more of that in Dodgers Talk tomorrow on DMAC and Reiter.